Hello, good evening. Welcome to another edition of the CantinaMX podcast. My name is John Jagu. Glad to have you with us. It's a Monday night, special lunes por la noche edition of the CantinaMX podcast. Happy that you guys are with us tonight. We have a lot to get to, as you all well know. A lot of things have happened in the world of soccer over the past week or so in this part of the world and others. We'll be talking about the Liguilla tonight. 8 teams have made it. 8 very, very good teams have made the postseason in Liga MX. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Copa Libertadores, and I'm air quoting, final that we had over the weekend. Just a very unfortunate chain of events that led to the cancellation not once but postponed not once but twice over a weekend, and we'll get into some other topics as well. MLS is close to defining their finalists, so we'll talk about that as well. My name is John Jagu. Happy to have you with us. Happy that you guys are subscribing to us on YouTube, also on iTunes and on Google Play. Of course, anytime we broadcast one of these and we make it go through the little converter to Plinko its way out to all of you, we're very, very thankful that you guys take the time to listen to us here on the CantinaMX podcast. Let's get right to it. With us over in Los Angeles, California, Joel Aceves joins us. Joel, once again, normally Joel, I'm turning the wrong one down. Normally Joel, if Chivas have had something good happen, I always hit with you with but there has been no reason to even for Vicente to even start drinking a little lemon and honey to warm his pipes, because no razón para cantar.
No, very little. There is very little right now. Even though that team has been, I wouldn't say the team, I'll say Tio Higuera. He's been hard at work in trying to rebuild the squad. Looking forward to the Clubs World Cup, which will be next month in December.
Now, is it true, Joel, that after our 30-minute deep dive into La Chofis last week, did Chivas end up signing him? Did they finally sign him long term? They did.
He agreed because Chivas gave him their conditions, which I think the fans, they need to sometimes separate from the fandom and see it from the club's point of view with certain players, because the club was getting hit hard because Jair Pereira was the other guy that the club was looking to let go just because they couldn't come to an agreement. And the fans were attacking the club, or they were attacking especially Higuera, and it made sense, given the player's age, and he's very prone to injuries. And yes, last season he stayed healthy, but if you do a rundown of since he joined Chivas, he's missed at least the whole season now of games. He's missed a lot of games. So it made sense to want to. I think they just want to give him a year contract, but they negotiated him, and with La Chofis it was more of a performance base. Chofis was trying to lock it down, trying to get a good 2-3 years with a bonus, with a raise. But they were like, no, it's gonna be performance based. How many games you play, how many minutes.
Well,
goals, passes.
so La Chofis now has a reason to play well, because
who knows, man? Who knows?
He's gonna make a little more scratch.
Yeah. He likes racing cars and hosting extravagant pool parties.
See, now, Joel, you say that like that's a bad thing.
No, it's not. But sometimes, if your mind is more focused on that, then you're not going all in, with the football.
Sure.
You sound
Which
like me,
is,
man.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think we agree on that. We always have, that saying: some players can get away with it, some can't. Some players can party hard and then show up on game day and uh, make the highlight reel.
Here
Trophies can't.
endeth the lesson.
So yeah, trophies he shows sometimes that he can he showed that talent where he could he should have been one of the top players in the league. Instead, he's not even a regular starter at Chivas.
He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty
Yeah,
boy.
it's not a boy, and it's been since 2015. That he's been at it. So by now we're gonna go into 2019 soon. So he should have already been a known commodity right there. He should have been one of those top players.
In the world.
It, I don't know about the
In the
world, but
world. In the
at
world.
least in Liga MX,
In the world.
you think highly. You are a trophy chaser, John.
I am a card carrying proud member of the trophy chaser community, and there's quite a few.
Yeah,
There,
there is.
yeah,
There's still a
we're not
few.
afraid to admit it. We're not afraid to admit it. We like the way that we see the way that La Trophies moves, and how can you not become a trophy chaser after that? I mean, no, sir. I mean, I've said it many times. Mr. Lopez, Javier has some pretty impressive skills on the pitch that he
Yeah,
and there are just no Mexican players that possess those skills.
yeah,
And if he can find a way to make that happen, then I'm telling you, he would be a yes.
and El Numeritos Harrison, who likes to do the whole campus
He's a
stat.
trophy chaser too.
And
He's a trophy
yeah,
chaser too.
yeah, but he can't figure it out why trophies isn't a starter. He keeps saying the coaches, and I was like, well, it's been like three coaches now. You're telling me all three of them are getting it wrong. But I mean, in a big part of that has been his discipline more than anything,
You know, what's funny about this whole thing is that
yeah,
we have all this other stuff to talk about, and we're going to
we're
spend
back.
30 minutes on about
That's
trophies,
true.
saying the same
That's
thing
true.
over and over and over again.
There's 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 a there's a ruckus going on in Buenos Aires. There's the Liguilla. So yeah,
I
enough
mean,
of the
seriously.
trophies.
we haven't even discussed the fact that in the Liguilla, the top three teams, Cruz Azul, Club América, and Pumas, the three Mexico City teams, for the first time in who knows how long, it's that this would be something like to go back and look and see when was the last time that these three teams were the top point getters. It's probably been since like 1979. The early 80s when all three of them were all quite good.
Didn't Ron check out some stats on 2006? Or was that Mexico City clubs?
No, it's not Mexico City clubs.
Yeah, I think he said 2006.
I think Ron is busy trying to burn the names of the referees that have wronged America etched into his brain, so that whenever you bring up some game, you go, "Oh, that 2-1 against Zacatepec. Oh, that was Wilfredo Benitez was refereeing. He screwed America in that game. He screwed America." But
2006, Cruz Azul, America, UNAM. Yeah, Apertura.
In 2006?
Yeah, that's what Mr. Ron says.
I don't believe you. Because in 2006,
I'll look at that up real quick.
Pumas was having such a terrible season. It was Hugo's last one.
That'll be quick to verify.
And they were playing the Sudamericana, but they were like they came in they had like 10 points. I mean, it was the reason they went into the freaking descenso. So
yeah, Pumas third place, America with Pumas 33 points, America 33, Cruz Azul 36.
In 2006?
2006. Or wait, nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Reset on me. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no way. But anyway,
Oh.
but the point is, of course, when
Yeah, that is correct. Cruz Azul
stop.
30. Cruz Azul 30. This was when they had the three groups though. So Cruz Azul was 30, Pumas 29, and America 29 points.
In
They
the
were in different groups. Apertura 2006. Monterrey had 27 in the other group. Cruz Azul was ahead in Group 1 or Group A, I guess, with 30 points. So yeah, that's 1, 2, and 3. Even though they
So
were
was
in
it
three different
2005
groups.
then when Pumas was?
2005.
Yeah, is that when Pumas was having their major problems?
Apertura 2005. Oh, yeah, they had 16 points.
Yeah, okay. I knew there was. Yeah, I knew it was one of the. All right. So 2006 then, the last time that also. So that's still 12 years. 2006, 12 years since the three of them have led the league, and excuse me,
Even.
and there it is again, and it's not just them. There are two Monterrey teams, Monterrey and Tigres. There's Santos, who we talk about Santos till we're blue in the face on the show. At least I do, as far as just how consistent they've been over the entire length of time that they've spent in the first division since the mid '90s. Just a terrifically run. Or just a very consistent organization. That's Santos, and if you hear from other folks right now, they talk about just what a different vibe it has, and then the rest of the Liga MX clubs, it's a very they have a very professional way of doing things there. So it's no surprise that they're in it. And of course, there's Toluca, another perennial Liguilla team, and another team that's been very consistent for the past 20 years. Won a lot of titles. Santos has won a lot of titles. And the one team that was a big surprise that they got the result they needed, got to the Joel, what's the magic number in points?
26.
And Chiquis, can you tell me how many points Querétaro was able to earn in the in this tournament in the Apertura 18?
26.
So they hit the magic number, but they had to wait because they had 26, but they didn't have the goal differential. The other ones had the goal differential, and Leon ends up tying Pachuca. And they already even call it little brother. It's more like son, el hijo. There's Pachuca, and then there's Pachuca hijo, which is Leon. They did the whole, whatever happens, and it tied 1-1, which makes me wonder, Joel, what is Christmas going to be like at the Ramirez house this year with when the boy comes over and it's like, Papi, sorry.
They choked at the end, man.
And I know what Christmas is gonna be like at Gonzalo's house.
Well, you're as a Chivas fan, you have to be quite used to that, though. You have to be quite used to that as a Chivas fan, I would assume. I don't know why you.
Pachuca tied Atlas.
Agua con los chavillos. Te están viendo tus hijos, Gonzalo. Compórtate ya.
That's for the people wondering. That's a video of a Chivas fan that was
crying,
unconsolable, yeah, and he's doing the Kiko crying where he's facing the wall with his.
Oh yeah.
And his little kids are behind him, wondering what's going on, and his family is trying to get him to calm down. I say, yeah, Gonzalo.
Yeah, Gonzalo. Now the one girl we just haven't heard from a lot this year, and I've pointed out again, is this girl.
Primero que nada hay que felicitar a Chivas porque ganaron bien. La neta, hay que dejarnos de tonterías.
Hay que dejarnos de tonterías.
Hey, I don't know if you have it though, but I think we could get the audio. But there's Lady River
Oh, I've got it right here. I've got it right here.
El América es una mierda.
I keep doing that.
That's
I keep doing that. I hope I don't do that when our guest comes on. We'll have to
no.
invite our guest.
But Lady River makes some pretty good points. Pretty solid points, I should say,
Yeah.
on the ruckus. But more on that later.
More on the ruckus a little later. The incidents that happened down in Buenos Aires. So
No, but I was gonna say Pachuca had Atlas and Leon for the last 2 games to qualify, and they failed on both.
Yeah.
That's pretty pitiful, and they're not a
Yeah,
big
they
team,
would've-
so we're not going to talk about them. But that's a big disappointment. For
well,
Pachuca.
what it does, it makes both of y'all look really bad. Is what it does.
No, we
you guys
came
stick
very
your necks
close.
out. You guys stick your necks out for these guys, and it just.
But guess who made it? Querétaro. Who would have
The
guessed
team that no one
Querétaro?
picked.
Yeah, it's like what the.
because my gallo was Morelia, and they didn't do it either. In fact, I
Yeah,
thought Morelia was a lock.
But Querétaro's boss, man, they have a good coach.
I'm starting to I'm starting to see the allure.
I was. Yeah.
He really is kind of made for the position, don't you think? Easy. I mean, and he was a novella actor, wasn't he?
Yep.
So
I think
all
he
he's
will.
doing is playing a role.
He will alter. No, what helps him do. What helps him as is that it's gonna make him command the room with the journalist. And if you could win over the journalist, you're just gonna have a smooth ride. And very few coaches have been able to do that. You got Vasco Aguirre, who they just loved him, and Tuca as well. Tuca might have his outburst, but overall, he commands a lot of respect. And
Well, people have been giving Tuca the exact opposite in this little tenure. But I have to admit, it's like, what do you want Tuca to do in this thing? He's trying out a bunch of guys that have never played before.
Oh, for selección, yes.
Yeah.
But over in club level, Tuca's always, you rarely have like journalists attacking them the way they'll attack like Piojo or they'll attack Chepo and other coaches.
That's exactly the point. I mean, and the stuff that they're saying about Tuca is basically like, Tuca, thanks, thank you for your service.
Oh,
don't come back. Instead of just completely just running it through the meat grinder.
Yeah, that is true, but and then just quick on that, like did fans really expect any different results given the rivals?
Yeah, we can talk about the selección here in a little bit, but yeah, exactly. It's like and beyond that, in the friendlies immediately after a World Cup that are just completely worthless to. At least Europe was smart enough to realize, hey, these things, because usually they would start the Eurocopa qualifying, but now they're like, hey, let's have this Nations League thing, and it actually has worked out pretty well. Germany was relegated in the League of Nations.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty stuff. But anyway, so back to so you have this upstart, this rooster, this white rooster from the Bajío. They play Cruz Azul. The one team, and the Cruz Azul is like, really, that's who we have to start against. Is like the team that no one's going to give any credence to. It's just that they're going to be everybody's underdog favorite team. Waiting for the inevitable.
Y la Cruz Azuleó.
Against Querétaro, but I don't think it's going to happen. I do not think it's going to happen. I think Cruz Azul will have an easy time with Querétaro. The Gallos are a solid team. They're as good a team as they've had in quite a while. But Cruz Azul, I think, is just they've got it going on. they have it going on. There were a couple of interesting stats that I did hear that we'll talk about when we talk about the matchups in earnest, though. But so those are your 8 teams. So we have the White Roosters, and then we have Pumas, Cruz Azul, América, Santos, Tigres, and La Pandi, making up the 8 teams. Well, other than adding Chivas, they couldn't have asked for better 8 teams to play in the league. I mean, is there any other team that would make that remotely interesting?
No, not really. And the way the matchups are set, it's also very good.
It's right. We have, as we pointed out, Cruz Azul will be playing Querétaro, and then the 2 seed América is playing Toluca, which, if we ever heard our resident Americanista on this podcast talk about how much he dislikes América, so I'm sorry, Toluca. So you know that's a rivalry that's very bitter. So we'll have that, and then there's Monterrey playing Santos, which again is just these are teams that have played each other in finals over the past 5 or 6 years. So there's a good rivalry there, and then there's the Clásico Universitario between Tigres and Pumas. And, Tigres and Pumas play pretty regularly in the college football championships down in Mexico. In fact, that was like the last 4 or 5 years in a row had been a Tigres Pumas final, and the last time they played in the final, Pumas actually did win, but usually it's Los Auténticos that win that. Chiquis Campa joins us from Kyle, Texas. Chiquis, good to have you on tonight.
Yeah, man, good to be here.
Chiquis, you're early. I'm sorry. Oh, that's right.
Tigres gonna get spanked.
I forgot that you're.
I'm Russell.
You are still. You are still asking for a pox on Tigres.
Yes. I fear no Tigre. I relish the moment that Pumas can play them.
Well, they did play them during the season, and if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, how did that turn out?
Hey, Joel, is this cat Birdie?
What do you mean, Birdie?
Is that his name, Birdie? Is this little bird?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Americanista that's coming on.
Oh, Alley Cat, Alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pasiones.
All right. Pues ya lo invitamos a ver qué pedo.
A ver, let's see if it takes the bait.
Oh yeah. Pumas tied Tigres
3-3.
13.
Yeah, no, so it was.
Just going on what Chiquis was saying, because we're here at the Cantina, Chiquis and I, we had Pachuca sliding in, and yeah, had they beaten Atlas, they would have been at 26 points.
They would have been at 27.
And no, I mean, even if they would have lost their against León, and they have a greater goal differential, so that would have, yeah, by far, because Querétaro only has 19 goals to 26 of Pachuca. So I mean, yeah, Chiquis and me, we were like, pan comido, you face Atlas, so yeah, that's a fracaso for the Tuzos, and I agree with Chiquis, they're not a big club, they don't deserve more, but I needed to make a quick point, and that's, they tied Chivas in 3 straight Liguillas without going missing out on 3 straight liguillas. That's the one thing for the Tuzos, for the Tuzo hermanos. Because their one saving grace is that they have provided Chucky to the selección, and that other guy that joined Chucky, I keep forgetting his name.
Guti.
There you go, that guy.
They have Chucky and Guti.
Chucky
Pookie and Beanie are coming over a little later.
Guti, and I confused Guti with Gullit, with Mullet. Mullet Peña.
In Holland, the G is pronounced like an H. So it's not that Gullit.
And then Pachuca has the Chilla hermano, the former, who was one of the top goal scorers this season.
Oh, is it a different Chilla hermano?
Yeah, the player that they Chivas sold.
Oh, the one who's the leading Mexican goal scorer in Liga MX.
Victor Guzman.
The one who scored the game, the championship winner for Pachuca against Monterrey in stoppage time in the second half. That Victor Guzman.
That Victor Guzman. He was traded in the deal for Pizarro. So Chivas gave.
Well, hang on a second.
It's a bold strategy, God. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Wait, what?
Because him and Chucky do the Super Saiyan fusion, which I thought you're a big Dragon Ball Z comic book fan.
Kind of am. No, it was. I'm glad it's working out for him. So that was that. There's that guy. So they're providing those 3 guys.
They also had Dedos Lopez. That guy. Dedos Lopez disappeared. Yeah, he disappeared to Pachuca.
At Pachuca.
And one thing to note also is when they were eliminated, once again, Chaco Jimenez was seen with crocodile tears as he walked off the field. Yeah, he was crying.
For Chaco,
that was his last game ever, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at Cruz Azul, and it's kind of messed up. They didn't let him stay.
No, but Chaco was. I mean, when Pachuca 10 years ago, when they won the Sudamericana, that was Chaco and La Chilindrina, and who was the other one? Chitiva, the Colombian. Man, they had it going on. That was kind of what Tigres is now. That's what Pachuca was back then. That was one hell of a team.
Chaco, and then the other guy's retiring too, Salcido. Carlos Salcido finally hanged the boots.
Is it true that his last pass was a giveaway that ended up becoming the winning goal?
Oh man, that's almost the Neo last one.
That's typical Salcido exit, man.
Yeah, he should have retired a while back. But there you go, man. Oof.
They wouldn't let him retire, right, Jolie? That was the story, right?
I don't know, man. He must have incriminating pictures. Salcido does have his extravagant parties with the lady boys. So
el Profe Uribe joins us from Long Beach. Profe, glad that you were able to make it. I seem to recall, Profe. We're taking our lumps. Both Chiquis and Joel have accepted their blame for the Pachuca miss that they had on both of them. Just, you could take it to the bank. It's going to happen. They're going to win. No problem. And they ended up not making it. I seem to recall you, Profe, a few weeks ago, just insisting that not only would Chivas win, I forget what match they were playing. Not only would they win that match, but they would win the rest of their matches and qualify for the Liguilla. Joel, how many points did Chivas miss in the Liguilla? They missed it by 6 points. They were eliminated 3 weeks ago. If you ask Joel, they were eliminated in week 2. So, Profe, what happened?
Yeah, John. I think at the time, the last time we spoke about this, they needed to win 3 in a row, right?
They did, and you said that they would win 3 in a row. They won none. They won 0.
No. I think they won the first one, and the second one's where they choked. I really think they're saving themselves for Mundial de Clubes. Real Madrid's like a wounded animal right now. Mid-table
Well,
teams are
let's get past the
winning
Japanese
three
team
and three and
first
three and four passes.
before we start comparing rosters with the
No.
Real.
I mean, look, this is typical of Chivas, dude. They had a terrible Clausura 2018, but they went on and they won the Conca Champions. They beat the in-season MLS teams.
That's right.
That Club America, Tigres, and Cholos couldn't beat.
None of them could beat. Only Chivas could beat them. Only
exactly,
Chivas.
Dude. You know what? Chivas stepped it up, slayed the MLS giant.
They slayed the dragon. They slayed the MLS dragon,
Exactly.
the unstoppable forces of MLS.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
New York
Toronto was
They-
going in
they can-
peppering that Angus. You know what I'm saying?
They can handle Real Madrid now for sure.
There's
Yeah,
no
I
question.
think they saved everything in the tank, and I think Salcido's like, all right, I think my replacement's here.
So Salcido has a chance to have a giveaway that leads to a winning goal one more time in the club World Cup. Is that correct?
John, there's a phrase I've heard somewhere. I'm not going to take credit for it. I think it's from a rock song, but it goes, is it better to burn out or to fade away? What would you say Salcido's, going out in style, burning out, or he's fading away? What do you think?
I think that he is fading away.
Dang, John.
That is harsh. That is harsh. No, I mean, hey, I have nothing but the highest respect for Carlos Salcido, who's had an outstanding career for both club and country, and one of the best wing backs that has ever played, not just in Mexican soccer, but club soccer and national team soccer. He was an outstanding player for many years.
Hey, he made it to England, right? If my memory is not bad right now.
He did, and he played and started and that whole season of the Premier League and had he had a very good career, very good, an excellent national team career. So the way I see it is that Salcido has earned the right to decide when the hell he wants to retire. Is what I'm saying. If he wants to hold out, Chivas fans, if you don't like it. There's
lengthening his career. Once the midfield, it kind of he had a few more extended his shelf life.
Yeah, so they play Kashima Antlers. Is who Chivas plays.
Should be in the bag.
They were founded in 1947, and let's see honors. Let's see how many times they have won. They were a second division team, so they've won the J League 8 times.
Yeah,
they won the J League 8 times. They won the Cup 8. So this is a solid team that's coming. I mean, let's face it. Outside of Mexico in this last World Cup, the other non-European, non-South American team that people were like really jazzed about was Japan. So let's not pretend that Kashima Antlers is going to be a flanecito there, profe.
Yeah, but I mean, if there's a guy that you said, okay, this guy has the tools to score on any team, maybe even in the world, any defense, any goalie, it's Pepe Cardoso, right? It's Pepe Cardoso.
Oh no! But I thought you said what? Hold on. Let me get to my point. What player should he instill that knowledge upon?
Exactly, John. So which player do you think he's gonna give a hand there and tell him, hey, you see this defense, do this, boom, bam, let's go.
I do this, goal.
Yes.
Like in, I wish I had that in Victory when. I've been trying to find that little clip. I'll have to do a little research. Anyway, yeah. So who do you think it should be, profe?
I'm gonna go here with the Mac Attack, JJ Mac.
No, come on.
JJ Macias.
You think JJ Macias is gonna take care of not only Kashima Antlers but Sergio Ramos?
Yeah, man.
And is Gaylord playing for them, or don't they have who's their new? Don't they have Courtois?
Has he transferred over? I know
Yeah.
there's a little saga going on there. He transferred over finally.
Yes.
Is that why they're losing? Is that why Real Madrid's losing? They have a
They
goalie.
lost 3-0 to is it
Ibar.
Ibar? 3-0.
Yeah, Ibar over the weekend.
The biggest win in Ibar's history.
Yep.
So is Ibar what happens when Neymar and Pablo Aimar have a baby?
Could be.
So
John,
that they were keeping their powder dry for the Club World Cup. That's why Chivas had the terror. That's why I have here on the CantinaMX podcast, just to let people understand the amount of publicity we give Chivas on this team. These are the drops just alone I have for Chivas. We have Vicente, which we bring in for praise and for sarcasm. I should play this one more often. Actually, I like this one because it's just you don't have to say anything. You know exactly what it is. You know exactly what it is. And then of course when any of our Chiva hermanos get a little poetic, we always play this underneath them, make them feel a little like what they're saying is.
So when you play the Ya Gonzalo.
Well, we'll get there. We also have when something really great, and I don't play this one often at all. In fact, I haven't had a reason to play it very often, but we do have. Oh, wait for it. So that one is very special. That one is very special. And that's just page one. Now let's go over to page two.
John, that last one they used to play here in Carson when Chivas USA was around. I'm sure Jolie was at the stadiums covering them. But I used to hear that one a lot when I came.
They played it in the stands?
In the stadium, yeah, the stadium in the stadium's PA.
Well, there you have it. So then we also have some other favorites. We have Elvis. A couple of cuts of Elvis. We improve. We get a little neck. I mean, this is just. That is solid. That is solid singing.
You really bringing out the big guns today, John.
Yeah. So we have four there. We have four there. We have one, two. We're up to 8. I'm not even on page 3. Let's go to page 3. Let's see what do we have here. Now, as you pointed out, we have.
Yeah, Gonzalo.
There you go.
And then, of course, one that I haven't used in a while, but we do have the trash talking güerita.
Chivas, don't make me laugh.
There you go.
And so that's 10. We have 10, and I think that's it. So out of all our drops, 10 of our drops are related to Chivas.
I'm surprised you don't have like a comment, a sound effect, coming through or something.
For what?
For Chivas,
Oh, the Chivas comment. That's a good idea.
The Chivas comment.
I don't know what a comment sounds like.
Me neither, dude.
Now, not to make Americanistas feel bad, because we do have some drops that we play for America. We have America Girl, and we have her. Let's see, where is she? There she is. It's there we go.
Que chingue a su madre el America.
So we have her. We have a very angry America fan that we play with when sometimes we play by mistake. We have
El América es una mierda.
I won't finish that one though, because we've already that's funny or whatever. So we have 2 of them, and then of course we have the trash talking güerita.
Club America, they suck.
So we have that, and so that's 3. Then we have all the America song. We have the. So this is really kind of 1, because we have that, and we have the chorus and the drums. So we have 3. So that's 6.
Is that the clone anthem with Sevilla?
The Sevilla, yeah, exactly. And then we have, which again is one of my favorite drops on here.
I think that's Jolie's favorite too.
Exactly, it is twofold. It has a twofold purpose, that particular drop. And so we have that, and of course we have we couldn't do this show without hearing the which we don't play often. Again, it only merits a special moment. And we'll see if we have that again. So I don't want either fans. Hopefully the friend that we've invited will hop on the podcast and we can talk Club America in depth. Yes, I'm sure he has a lot of good things to say about the Club America. So Profe, so Chivas doesn't make it. They're saving themselves for the Club World Cup. So out of these 8 teams, Profe, and again the matchups, we'll go over again. Our Cruz Azul is playing Querétaro. We have Club America playing Toluca. Pumas is playing Pumas. Los Pumas de la Universidad are playing Tigres. And Santos is playing Monterrey. So
the Batalla Felina, huh? That's the most interesting one, you think?
That's interesting. The Toluca Club America is interesting. The Santos Monterrey is incredibly, and Querétaro Cruz Azul, frankly, is.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That's I feel bad for Querétaro if they would have pulled anybody else, I think they'd make a deeper run. But probably
so
Cruz Azul.
You think Cruz Azul is going to take care of business?
Yeah, man. I think they're at least making the final. I mean, you got Ricardo Peláez running that club. Caixinha knows how to win. They turned that program around together.
So you firmly believe in Ricardo Peláez as well?
Yeah, man. He's a stud. He's a golden goose number 2. Lebrija was a golden goose. This guy's number 2.
He certainly seems to know what he's doing as far as putting together teams. Okay, Profe. So Cruz Azul, you think will advance? They're making the final. Contra quién, Profe?
I gotta look at the bracket specifically, but I mean, if you're gonna have Cruz Azul in the final, then it's gonna be a Ochilango final, right?
Well, it would have to be.
So, man, and you know what? I would hate to hear the Piojo to the national team talk, but.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Prof? Are you kidding me, Prof?
My bad, John. I meant Pumas, dude. I totally meant Pumas. I was just trying to get you back for all the Chivas drops. You laid it out pretty thick, man.
Well, I just want people to understand that we spend a lot of time talking about Chivas, and I have to be prepared. I have to be prepared.
Right. I got you.
We as a joke, I tweeted out, "Hey, all these teams are in the play except Chivas. So naturally, what are we gonna do? We're gonna talk Chivas the whole show." Which, of course, we came very close to spending another 30 minutes to start the show doing trophies talk, as we did last week when I was driving back from Dallas in our late night gentleman's agreement podcasts. That
nice
that we do occasionally, which we'll probably get to do some next week as well. So you're thinking it's gonna be the clásico capitalino between Cruz Azul and you were gonna say Club America. You think Club America?
Yeah, I think the Águilas. That's your arch rival.
So Chiquis, then you believe that if Club America does indeed win Liga MX, and if Atlanta United wins the MLS Cup, then they should play for the right to see which coach gets sent to the national team.
I was just messing around, but I was just trolling, as people like to say. But that's an interesting thing because.
But that's not really troll.
It's not realistic, but
well,
I've front runners, the Mexican guy.
I personally seem to think that that Piojo won't get the gig, but he will definitely be the first call when whoever does get the gig, if they end up, flaming out, then Piojo is the very first call that gets made.
Yeah, that would be very sad for Tata Martino if he does flame out, because especially after all the love that he is receiving in Atlanta.
Right.
He's just like a godlike figure over there right now. The stadium was like packed, colors all over the place and everything. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was a good look. That is, and I'm not sure. I think that if they, I'll have to check. If they make the final, I think they'll be hosting the final, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be a great look for MLS if they can get that stadium full like that with what they were doing for final, because I guarantee you that'll go around the world. So that would definitely be a good look for them if they're able to make that happen. I know you were joking. I was just it was. It was excellent. It was very funny. I thought it was very appropriate. But I, like I said, I personally believe that Piojo would be the bombero if. And I'm not saying it's going to be Tata Martino. Just whoever gets it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before for a Mexican national team coach. Hopefully, it won't happen again. But I don't think that Piojo is a candidate, in my opinion.
You know what, John? I think it doesn't matter who the manager is. I don't think that the national teams, like their level, they've plateaued. They're like stuck. Like it doesn't matter. Like I think I've reached the. Well, I'm sure you guys have been there already. I'm sure you're there already. Where whoever it is, nothing's gonna change. Same old, same old. Is that where you're at?
Well, I don't know. I think that they're going to have a bit more. I personally think they're going to have a bit more of a challenge because, the reality is that out of the 23 players that are going to be in Russia, maybe 5 or 6 are coming from the team that was so they're going to Qatar. There's going to be 5 or 6 that were on the team in Russia. I mean, there are going to be very few players that are going to be on that squad. So I think that to me is going to be the biggest challenge, is that they're not. I mean, the next coach isn't going to have that much time to put together a team.
Yeah.
So, which is why, some very, very smart people, including some very smart people on this podcast, have this belief that it would be the Olympic team will ends up being the base of the national team. Because they will be playing a little more over these next couple of years together, and that probably is what's going to happen. But as far as nothing changes. It's.
You know what? That's what Chepo should have done when he hit that wall in 2013. He should have just brought in the Olympic team, brought all of them together. They had good chemistry. They had just beat the freaking Brazil's national team, and it wasn't like their youth team. It was their actual national team that was planned for the World Cup.
Right.
That's the team they were.
That's what Brazil was doing for the 2014 World Cup. They were going to use the Olympic team was their base.
Yeah, that was their team, and pretty much what's his name lost to Mexico, he didn't last very long. He lasted I think a little less than a year more. What's his name? Man, I can't remember the manager's name anymore. I want to say Tite, but
wasn't it like Wanderlei Luxemburgo or something like that?
No. It was. Let me see.
But if it's typing away, bro.
No, I think it's Tite. Let me see. I just need to confirm.
Well, anyway, so yeah, I mean, as far as it being the same, it's just, all you can hope for is if they can just, somehow catch the lightning in the bottle and get a good draw, and but
on that thought that Juan is saying, I was actually I missed seeing either of the Argentina friendlies, and I didn't really even feel bad about it. I was just like, okay, when's Liga MX start up again? That's what I'm starting to feel about the national team, which is sort of weird and depressing. But
Mano
but again,
Menezes.
yeah.
Mano Menezes.
But these, we talked about this a little bit earlier. I mean, these friendlies that are right after the World Cup. I mean, they really are just completely pointless.
Yeah.
And with that said, it's each team was completely different. I mean, Tuca. What are you going to practice in 1 2-hour session? I mean, because they really don't have that much time. So they're just, for people to, yeah. But you're right. Though. I mean, they're probably the least watchable of all. The one actually that was the most entertained that I did sit down and watch was the one against Costa Rica in Monterrey, where they ended up drawing 2-2. But yeah, I mean, they're playing Uruguay, they're playing Argentina. These are a bunch of kids that that have very few caps between them. It was going to be ugly, and sure enough, that's exactly what transpired. And and people want to give Tuca, whatever. They want to trash him, go ahead, I guess. But it's like, he didn't have to do that. Maybe if they would have made him the coach altogether, he would have looked at it a little differently. But he was just trying to give some guys an opportunity to play, and that's what they did. And some players took advantage, some didn't. But I wouldn't abandon them altogether. I mean, they're gonna, they're on the radar now. Let's see how it turns out for them. And
yeah, they're not going to mess with Tuca too much. They're afraid. They're afraid of Tuca. I didn't see too much criticism on him, but I think it's a mix of everyone being afraid to insult, and also they understand that it's just friendlies, and that he's bringing in the youth. So.
Y usted no me va a decir qué carajo tengo que hacer.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't want none of that.
Right. Yes, I mean, they were just. I mean, I'm with you, Chiquis. I think I watched like the 20 minutes of one, and I didn't watch any of the other, and I was totally fine with that. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
they were they were what they were. It was then they're gonna have another one in January, February, and but I mean, but the reality is that. The Mexico is getting ready to field a very inexperienced international side, and I think they're going to suffer because of that. I think that they're going to have a tough time in the upcoming Gold Cup, and so that's why that Olympic team is going to be very important, that Olympic tournament and everything else. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, let's switch gears here. Let's head on down to Buenos Aires. We have the Copa Libertadores final between Boca and River Plate. Boca Juniors, of course. First leg, the first opportunity to play was postponed because of a major rainstorm, but they ended up playing in the Bombonera the following day. It was a 2-2 draw. Joel, what is the nickname that the River Plate fans have for La Bombonera? What do they call it?
Oh, I don't know what they call La Bombonera.
Because I was listening to the kid on the radio show, and he would not call it La Bombonera. He called it like something entirely. I'm sure it was unflattering.
I never heard a name for their stadium.
Yeah.
I know, like River, they call it Gallinero, and I know they call Boca fans Bosteros, which is horseshit.
La Bostonera is what he calls it.
Oh, okay. That was a joke, because in that area there used to be a lot of, a lot of horse manure, and but then Boca used to counter. It's pretty brilliant, actually. So the river stadium used to be by a hospital where they treated leprosy. So they used to say, the the bosta, you could take it off with a shower, but leprosy stays with you forever. And that was the banter.
Well, the rivalry is a little different now.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
And on the way to the stadium, the Boca Juniors bus, as y'all know, was attacked by bottles. Rocks were thrown at it. Glass was shattered. Players were injured from fragments from shrapnel of the glass coming in. Tear gas was then released by the security folk, the cops. That made it into the bus. But the players show up to the Monumental, throwing up, just in absolute terrible shape. A couple of players. The team was in no way in any shape or form ready to play. So they had to postpone it. I cannot believe it took them as long as it did to make the decision to postpone it. But they ended up having to do that. And then the next day, Boca was to say, "Hey man, we really still don't want to play this game. Our captain's, got injured on the way to the stadium, and we don't know if he's, much less going to play. We don't know if his sight's going to be right again." Paraphrasing, of course. So they postponed the game on Sunday again, and they're going to make a decision tomorrow as to when or if they're going to play the match at all, which I think would be a terrible, terrible shame. And there's just for every reason that this was a big game that we're looking forward to it. With there were so many intangible factors that you could look at in a game like this, and the reality is that the country of Argentina, city of Buenos Aires, the sport of soccer in Argentina had a great opportunity to. I mean, they really were at that point the absolute center of the world. A game that was going to be played in European prime time at 8 o'clock over most of the continent. Played here on Saturday afternoon, where a lot of folks were going to watch, and they just completely, aside from the violence of everything else, I mean, the organization just completely it was just one big fiasco after another, and it was just terribly unfortunate, and the ones who suffer was the aside from obviously the players, was fans of the sport of soccer that didn't get an opportunity to see these two great sides, historic sides, play each other for what would have been the biggest game in their history.
Yeah,
against each other.
And just to add, these teams don't really have standout players. I mean, Boca has Tevez, who's pretty much past his prime, with all due respect. And they have Benedetto, who was a section of the fans at first didn't want him. He was coming from Liga MX. He didn't even think he was gonna make it in Argentina. He was nationalized. He's Mexican by now he's a Mexican citizen. He might figure they're in eliminatoria, so they're still having Mexico's having a problem scoring, still having them. But yeah, like if you ask the average fan, there's no really standout players like in years past. Like if you go back, even if you go back to the late '90s when River still had Enzo Francescoli and Burrito Ortega, and a lot of these teams had like when Boca used to have Riquelme. Some of these big name players, they're just not there anymore, and that's how big this rivalry is. That even without those star players, it still has garnered so much attention.
Well, it's Matt. I mean, it's I don't think that there's anybody that follows soccer on the planet that follows soccer closely, I should say, on the planet, that doesn't know where, I guarantee you they have no idea where Santos Laguna is, but know exactly where River Plate is, and know exactly. And again, I'm not disrespecting Santos. It's just, these are two of the most well-known teams in the world.
Nothing against you, Dan.
Exactly. I mean, they don't know who Pumas. They don't know who Pumas is. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, they might know who Chiapas is, or or Zacatepec, but Club America, forget it. But back to the whole. There are so many things that this could have been. One, there should have been much more security. There should have never been an opportunity for fans to get that close to the bus. I'm not so sure that they should have even had the players on the bus at all to begin with in the first place, and just send the bus as a decoy, and then bring them. I mean, knowing that it was going to be so. I mean, because this happened. This happened to the river bus when they went to Boca. They just didn't break any glass.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, John, is that the bus didn't do its normal route. It took a turn.
Here we go.
Yeah.
This is the conspiracy part. So it went through
it's not a conspiracy, because it's true. It didn't go the way it normally does, and when it was being escorted, it just had the motor. It didn't have like the regular convoy that accompanies it. So,
in other words, it went right through the mix of all the river fans.
Yeah, it went right into the lion's den, right into the wolf of the mouth, and it's like, who, why will you change the route? Like, who ordered that? Who? And that's where a lot of the river fans are like, this has more to do with the police, because we have the route that we always take. I mean, they have the route of the bus, and the fans know. Everyone knows already. They just know what, and those streets always get blocked. There's you don't have that easy access. So right. I mean, that right there, I will put my tinfoil hat on, and it's like, either someone messed up royally, or it was done on purpose. And one thing that we have heard is, how they want to do Libertadores expanded into the U.S. market. They want to bring back Liga MX, and they want to add MLS. But one of the big things they want to do is go to the one game final in a predetermined
I agree
stadium.
with you. Why would they go through all that trouble? Why can't they just say, hey, starting next year, we're going to bring in Liga MX and MLS, and we're going to go to a one game final y punto?
Well, because someone's going to have to,
why would you go through all this trouble when all you have to do is you don't have to go in front of a camera and say it. You can just send a little memo. Hey, this is happening. Press release. This is happening next year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's going to be used now that it happened.
You see, I think that's. I mean, they're believe me. I do believe that the police have a huge, 95% of the blame here. There's no doubt. They should have never have allowed the Boca bus to get that close to the fans. But the fans don't have to throw shit at the bus either.
No, you're right. But John, just to go on this, I don't think it was done with that in mind. I do think that's going to be used. If they do go that route, they're going to use that as an excuse.
Sure.
But I do feel like wearing my tinfoil hat on here, I do feel this was like more of a ploy on Boca to try to get like a neutral venue, or to get the river home field advantage taken away. I do feel like that to me is a big possibility.
So you think that the Boca supporters plan this whole thing?
Not the supporters.
Instead of just playing the game, they're going to
take a dive.
Well, they're scared, man. They don't. And it's about what, 65 to 75% odds in your favor of winning the cup if you play at home, since like in the history of Libertadores. And Hey man, you talk to Bosta fans, they're scared of El Muñeco Gallardo, man. He's right now he's their Pep, man. He's right now the top the top
He's their
you know
trophies.
no coaching
Oh,
wise.
coaching.
Yeah, because he won league. He's already won the Libertadores. He beat Tigres. He was the coach when they beat Tigres
So
with a lesser squad.
so when does he come over to Club America?
He already turned them down.
Get fired because he only wins 2 games in the first 6.
No, actually, he turned them down already. He could be going to La Liga soon. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's gonna be huge if he wins 2 Libertadores. Very few coaches have achieved that. You know, he's about to join an elite group or elite. But yeah, there is talk of that. But I do feel like especially with Macri right there in the mix, he's like the Argentine Trump. There's just a lot of stuff going over there, man. But I've seen it before, like in South America, where they do these things to mess with the other clubs. Extra cancha. We saw what the Chilenos did with Chivas during the whole fiebre porcina, where they got all the postponed the game till they finally just gave the match to the Chilenos. And there's been stuff like that in the past. There was one time where they tried to do it. It was also Chile. I don't know if you remember, John. It was during World Cup qualifier, and a firecracker landed by the goalie, and the goalie pretended that it hit him. You guys don't remember that?
Oh yeah.
And it was I think it was against Brazil. So Gumbel thoroughly investigated that one.
I'll tell you what really bugged me in this last. I think it was it Colombia? Did Peru beat Colombia in the last in the last game of qualifying? Anyway, it was on an indirect free kick, and the guy kicks it at the goalie, and the goalie tries to catch it but misses. And if he doesn't even touch it and it goes in, then it's not a goal. But it deflects off his fingers and it goes in. That goal really bugged me. No, I'm serious. That was not a good goal. So you're saying that this was all planned by Boca because they knew that they were going to lose. So instead of losing, they would rather steal the trophy from them by saying, "Oh, we got hurt in this ride." So they would risk the eyesight of their beloved captain.
That one went wrong. Someone didn't cue him in, John. There was pictures already of the injured guys already celebrating at a hotel already came out. I don't know if you've seen them. All those guys that were choking on tear gas.
Well, how long do you think you're going to be choking on tear gas?
Yeah, but they could have been playing. They could have played that game. I still haven't seen.
There's no question they could have played. The reason they didn't play the game is because I'm pretty sure it's because their captain had double vision. That's the only reason they didn't play.
I still haven't seen pictures of him though. I've heard. I still haven't seen any evidence.
There's a picture of Perez. What's his name? Perez, the captain. He had a little dot on his eye. But I've actually been in tear gas, and you have the sniffles for a little bit, and then you're pretty much good to go.
Where were you in tear gas, Chiquis? Were you
in the military?
Were you rushing the border?
In the military, they stick you in a chamber.
Oh, damn!
And open up the gas, and then you take off your mask and see how long you could last. But
how long did you last?
I think I counted to 4.
I couldn't imagine it. This is Chiquis. Welcome to Jackass.
So 4 seconds.
4 seconds or whatever.
Okay.
But that's like in an enclosed area. I'm sure it was just the wind that blew in the gas into the bus or whatever happened. Yeah, I can see it. It is sort of a little far fetched, but I can sort of see the whole take a dive and say, hey, we're hurt and we don't want to play this and complain and stuff. But Tevez looked fine. I didn't when he had this interview. I don't recall if
But
he said
you just said, Cheekies, that you get the sniffles for a little bit and then it's done. So of course
yeah.
Tevez looked fine.
Well, they said they were vomiting. They said they couldn't play. They weren't in the physical state to play. And that was like what 30 minutes after, even an hour after the incident. They were in the locker room like
Yeah, but there's a lot more to it than just
dizzy and vomiting. Oh, the traumatizing experience of having stuff. They're in the bus like singing and dancing, saying that they're going to win on their home turf. Then all of a sudden a window breaks, and then then they're like closing the curtains and stuff. You see the video when they were inside, and then they go through. I didn't see any like gas or anything. I saw the window break, and the guys dive into the middle of the row. But when I hear like vomiting and dizziness and for an hour afterwards, that's sort of, I mean, I didn't experience it, but that doesn't really make much sense.
Well, I don't know if it was tear gas. I thought it was pepper spray.
Or yeah, pepper spray from the River fans, which I don't. That's the reports that I saw.
Well, either way, I mean, the reality is that they should have. I mean, they should have just suspended the match. Personally, I believe if they would have just suspended the match when they walked this, hey, they can't play at this. I mean, it has to take, River to come over, and it took them like 6 hours to make the decision. That's ridiculous. Just suspend the match, and then I think they would have had no problem playing the match the next day. But it wasn't just that. I mean, that whole scene down there in the in the outer ring, I guess, of the stadium where all the offices and stuff are. I mean, it was chaos. It wasn't just the spray and the play. I mean, it was complete chaos for 6 hours. There was no way that they should have even considered playing that game. And like I said, I think if they make that fast decision, then the decision is made. Hey, well, let's just do it tomorrow, and everything would have been fine. But they didn't do that. They dragged it out and dragged it out and dragged it out and dragged it out, and kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And then, of course, as they finally make the announcement that they're not going to that they are not going to play. The River fans leave the stadium. And of course, they get robbed for their tickets because the tickets are good again the next day. They fill it up again the next day, and they say, "Oh, by the way, they're not playing again." Just a complete mess. A complete mess. But I have to admit, peppering your own team to gain an advantage is a conspiracy that I think is just absolutely brilliant.
Well, I don't think they intended to get peppered. I don't think they intended the glass to break. Yeah, they wanted like stuff to be thrown.
You mean like their supporters threw at the River Plate bus?
Well, actually, you know what? The glass broke. Pepper spray was thrown. I don't really actually think pepper spray, like a canister of pepper spray,
went in the bus
and actually affected. Yeah. I think the wind just blew it, and they might have sniffed it a little bit. And just like when you get hit on the ankle when you're playing the game, you dive to the ground and you cry. That's what I think the main thing that could have happened with this. The Boca team is just exaggerating their injuries. They're saying, "Oh, I'm feeling dizzy," or "I'm about to throw up," and all this stuff. And the pepper spray, I sniffed a little bit of it.
Just so I understand,
yeah.
They deliberately went down this way, knowing that they were going to get attacked by the fans. And then once this attack happened, they were all going to feign some sort of injury.
Yeah.
Hey.
So that they wouldn't have to play the game and maybe win the trophy by some technicality.
Maybe not win the trophy, but if you could take away like that home field advantage from River Plate, if you could gain that advantage by getting it played at a neutral venue, or mess with them mentally, take them out of their game, they would do it. I mean, if you see into this, into like just South American football.
But I think that they would take more pride in. Why don't we go beat their ass on their own field?
This is Argentina, though.
And then have that forever over there.
Hey, you've talked about the dark arts.
And
John.
Argentina is a pro at that.
Hey, did Argentina not claim that there was too much violence in Colombia in the Copa America and not play the tournament?
Right.
They used that as an excuse to not even go to the tournament, you know, and they didn't. And who knows what they were trying to get as an advantage out of that. But they did it, and they got away with it.
They got away with what?
With not competing for that when Colombia hosted the Copa America. They said there was too much violence.
You're absolutely right, Joel. And what happened to them in the ensuing World Cup?
Doesn't matter what happened to them.
I'm asking.
Different
by not having all those
oranges.
extra games of preparation, what ended up happening to the national team in the ensuing World Cup?
Yeah, but they were in the group of death, man.
Just answer the question, dude. What ended up happening to them?
But that's apples and oranges. Like, what does that have to do with the other one? That's like saying, oh, because Chivas, didn't qualify to Liguilla, they're not going to do anything at the Club's World Cup.
No,
I'm saying, two different tournaments.
I'm not saying it's a tournament. I'm saying that they had an opportunity for a national team to play together and gain more experience with each other, regardless of how they ended up doing in the tournament. Because
yeah, but with that draw, chances are same thing would have happened. They ended up in a group of death, and you could say Bielsa didn't know how to use his strikers. He had Batistuta and Crespo, and he had Valvo, and he just couldn't get them to score.
If he'd only had a few extra games to figure out how to use those strikers. All I'm saying is, why go through all this trouble when you have teams that are good enough to beat the ones, when you have a team that's good enough to win?
Yeah, but 3-4 games is not going to make a difference when you have players of that caliber that are already World Cup veterans and playing at the highest level, Champions League and Serie A and all those. I don't think it makes a difference for them.
You're saying they have really good players.
Yeah.
So
for the selección does.
So then why would they try and gain some ridiculous advantage by saying, we're not going to go down to Colombia?
Oh, I don't think they were trying to get an advantage of winning that cup, but I'm just saying of the stunts that they pull, like the type of stunts that is not beneath them to make these claims to get out of doing something. If you dig enough, you're gonna find out a lot of these type of things just throughout the region. It's pretty common over there.
So you still believe that they would put their own players at risk,
yes,
in order to gain an advantage.
The same thing that we're theorizing is like saying, do you really think that River fans would throw tear gas and bricks at a bus going by and start chasing it down and then run the halls of the stadium to get their ticket money back and do all these things? Yeah, they're Argentinians. This is like over passionate fans, and even the team that will do anything to win, even the dark arts of crying and taking dives and faking injuries to get home field advantage or some type of advantage.
And that's the legacy for a lot of these guys. They're always going to be remembered. This is the one match they don't want to lose. It's like you just can't lose that game because it's going to haunt them forever. This final. And for some of the dirigentes, especially like Macri, who's involved right there, and he's involved in all types of levels, from government to the AFA and having stake in Boca. I don't think he wants to lose that game either. It's huge for him, and to win it, I'll say by any means necessary, it would just cement him in this place where he's just going to be venerated by a whole bunch of fans. And they're not going to care how he won it, just as long as he won it and they have that bragging rights.
So again, just so I'm clear, just You're advocating that these folks would be willing to put their players at risk, and some even did get injured, just so they could gain some advantage in a game that they could probably win just as easily by just playing.
Well,
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Well, I would say the risk just of they knew the bus would get attacked, and that's pretty common. That's nothing new for the bus to be attacked, and they probably expected to get attacked more than normal, enough for them to make a fuss out of it. I think the whole that that the windows broke and all that. I think that was extra. I don't think they accounted for that. But I do feel like they did use that.
So what would have been acceptable to them? Of all this other stuff, it was extra. They weren't expecting. They weren't expecting all this extra stuff.
No, just how it happened. But the main thing that happened was the captain that the glass got in his eye. I mean, I don't.
So was that part of the calculus or not?
No. I think that was like unfortunate.
They just wanted the bus to be attacked. Period. Correct. That's all they wanted.
Yeah, rough it up a bit, man.
They just wanted so the only advantage they would be getting would be because the exact same thing happened to the river bus when they went down to Boca's place. So I don't understand. I don't understand why that would have been gained them an advantage or not, because the exact same thing happened to Rivers.
Well, because they could have said the whole, the pepper spray. They could have still gone with the whole pepper spray.
So now
thing.
they've sent the pepper. So they've also
they could have exaggerated it.
Sent the pepper spray in.
They were saying
they pepper sprayed their own players.
No,
I don't think
they were willing to accept their own players getting pepper sprayed in order for them to gain this advantage.
Yeah, but they weren't directly pepper sprayed. That's the whole thing. They wasn't like
you're telling me that they were willing to accept their players being pepper sprayed in order for them to gain an advantage. They're okay with that.
They could have took a dive.
Yeah, but not pepper spray like the way we're thinking about it, where it's up close and it's a heavy dose.
It doesn't matter. But either way, they're okay.
I don't mean it doesn't matter. It does matter. It's a big difference.
Between, so whether you're pepper spray just a little bit or a lot is what matters. It's only just a little bit. Right?
Yeah, because it does count. It does count if they sprayed it right to your face, or if it lands like 5 feet from you, and you could say, "Oh, I smelt it and it's messing with me."
So it's okay for their players to be pepper sprayed.
Like Chiqui said, the thing didn't land in there. I just think that was going to be an excuse. Like pepper spray got there and it messed with us.
But it was acceptable. That was an acceptable part of the calculus.
John,
they might get pepper sprayed, so that's okay.
It's just like when you're on the field. A typical Argentinian player is on the field.
They're going to get pepper sprayed.
And someone's elbow comes up a little high. The guy grabs his mouth and falls to the ground. Now, did he get elbowed? Was the elbow in the vicinity?
You're comparing play acting on the field
to play acting off the field. Yes.
To exposing the players that you've invested all this money in to be physically damaged before a game.
Correct. But they're not out there. They're not out there. Okay, you have various barriers too. You have police. You have the bus.
Yeah.
You have the bus moving. Would you be afraid going
the
through
police
that?
are in their police are in their pocket. They ask the cops, "Hey, make sure that you give us the most direct route through the riverfront, so our bus is automatically insured of being attacked."
If you're Macri, you could do that.
Okay,
if you're Macri, you could do that.
So you want to get attacked. So are you willing to accept all the consequences of the bus being attacked in order for you to get this advantage?
Just like a player is, putting his head near someone's elbow, and then falling to the ground. It's a risk you take to get an advantage in the game. That's the ruthlessness that some competitive people have in Argentina. This isn't no like friendly game. This isn't no like even America Chivas.
So
this is
River
Boca.
Any and all consequences for what happens if their bus is attacked. What if someone had thrown a Molotov cocktail in there? Would that have been cool?
I
Would
don't
that have
think
been an
it would.
acceptable calculus? I'm just
I
asking.
don't.
I'm just asking. Would that
No.
be
You
an
already know.
acceptable
You already know the
calculus?
answer to those.
No,
You already know the
hey,
answer to that question. That's
no,
exaggerated.
they're trying to gain an advantage, right? They want to make sure that
That's extremist. That's extremist.
Hey,
Yeah, that's
Stop it.
already a bit too much extreme. They know because,
That's
like we
extreme.
said, it's common. Yeah, but for
you're
these
telling
guys,
me
it's
here that
common
these
to
guys
get
have the cops in their pocket to make sure that the bus goes through this group in order for them to get
at
in.
least
And
at least
that's
an
not
extra
extreme.
5 minutes of shenanigans. No, because those buses, it's common over there. The bus is gonna. It's even common with taxi cab drivers. If they hang, if you're hanging the thing that they hang in the
But then, if it's so common, then how on earth is it an advantage? What on earth did they do
with
in order to get
advantage
this
where
advantage?
they claimed that it left them incapacitated. That was the advantage.
Yeah, even if the same thing, like you said, would have happened as it did with River and the bus that River took,
Which it did.
they could have exaggerated and said, "Oh, something happened," or "Oh."
But why would they have to?
Was that other game
because
played?
of the home field advantage, because of any little trick that they can get to get something on their side, to get some little edge.
You know
in the
what River did
competition.
to get the advantage on side? They scored 2 goals.
Hey, what do you guys remember the one game with the guy used the drone to pepper spray players?
Right.
Was that game still played?
That happened after the game.
Oh, all right. Well,
I think was that during
No, it happened after
halftime.
It happened after the game.
Oh, so they're going into the locker room, and that guy like welded a hole through the tunnel and then sprayed stuff through it.
No, there was a drone that came down and sprayed stuff on them.
Oh, there's also a guy in a tunnel spraying through a little hole. He welded a hole. They had like a little mini welder. And I thought that was like halftime, or maybe they're like going into the locker room after the game. I'll have to look that up, but.
Yeah, well, I don't think that this is going to work for Boca anyway. I think because, if this had happened like on club grounds or inside the stadium, then they might have a.
Well, we also have an on the ground reporter though. She gives her claim and her.
Look, John, I'm just reading it, and they got pepper sprayed in halftime.
Oh, was it halftime?
Yeah,
Did they finish?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Halftime.
Did they finish the game?
No, it was suspended.
Okay.
But River was winning, and this happened at Boca Stadium. And River Plate was winning. They had the lead.
So they sprayed the Boca players. Is that right?
No, they sprayed
the River players.
Yeah.
So did they think that they were going to go out there and play blindly? I mean, I don't understand why.
This was a direct. I'm just saying, this happens a lot over there. It's not a one-time thing. So for us to be surprised that
the only other time it's happened, and you're telling me this happens all the time.
Those River
all
players.
Type of stuff with the buses getting attacked and players getting attacked.
Again, the buses get attacked everywhere they go. So again, I don't understand why. Hey, this thing that happens to us all the time just happened again, and because of that, we're not going to play this game. And not only that, but if we do play it, we can't play. There's no way we can play it in the stadium.
Those River players still can't see.
Hey,
they're still blind from that incident. Oh, hey, we got a guest on. We're arguing and stuff, and we have our homie on.
So I'm just just so I'm clear. So this was planned out in order for them to gain an event which they're not going to get.
We don't know yet.
Hoy, do you honestly believe they're gonna switch the venue?
Yeah, we don't know.
Do you honestly
aren't they looking at Miami?
They're meeting. They just met up right now, and the Boca guy went.
At 10.
We'll see then.
All right.
We'll see then.
We'll see. Well, Hoy, do you want to introduce our guest?
Sure. It's Americanista here. His fans just throw wheelbarrows into the stadium. How did they get a wheelbarrow in there? I'm still having a hard time figuring that one out. They're playing against Sao Caetano, who doesn't exist anymore. And no, but it's a little hat trick from Twitter.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Yule.
So I have a question. So do you guys think that it was purposeful? The route that they took?
He's gonna start it. Okay, I'm gonna just real quick. That was not the normal route that the visiting bus take when going into the River Plate Stadium. And so the fans of River Plate are complaining that it's on the police because they ended up taking a different route, and they didn't have the usual escort with patrols. They just had some motorcycles.
Because I joined in late, but it kind of sounded like there was like some conspiracies going on. Like it was,
yeah, man, you need the tinfoil hat if you're gonna get in on that.
Like I just doubt that the police force would be for David, for example. Like I feel like
this would have been pro Boca, not it would have been to get the game suspended.
Oh, why would they want that though?
So that River could lose their home field advantage.
Oh, okay.
Because they knew they were going to get their ass kicked.
That's okay. Well, I doubt that.
Well, not you, but the odds are always in favor of the team closing.
They knew they were going to get their ass kicked.
So 65 to about 75% of the time, the team that closes at home wins the cup.
That's a little dangerous though. Like, I mean, imagine if something happened to Benedetto, for example. Like, that's
man.
Well, according to Chiquis and Joel, that would have been perfectly okay, perfectly acceptable if something like that would have happened. They would have just been part of the deal.
It's just a little roughing up there.
Just part of it.
That's it. That's incorrect.
That was crazy.
If the bus burns down on the way to the stadium, we'll just use our B team. It'll be okay.
It's actually very disappointing. I'm not even excited for it anymore. I'm over it. I don't know how you guys feel about
that. They really did just put
Argentine
soccer in the greatest light, didn't they? By doing this whole thing, and then, I mean, Argentina is not the country that's in the best economic shape. Let's be honest. So
it's becoming the Mayweather Pacquiao. By the time they fought, it wasn't what you wanted. It's like 10 years from now.
They're both in their mid-50s.
That game's gonna be played 10 years from now.
He used to have a reach of 72. Now it's 43. Yeah.
Hey, but no matter how ugly this experience was, though, and like all the negativity, this is like one of the main reasons why soccer is the number one sport in the whole world. You don't see this kind of craziness and idiocy from any other sport, which people just call a game. It's actually just a game. So. Drag racing.
But in this case, I feel like the true soccer fans, like myself and probably us, everybody on this podcast, we suffer.
We miss out. We do suffer. So we honestly, as fans, aside from the players and staff on the bus, we really are the true victims in this whole deal.
Yeah.
And that's just the no. I mean, it just, to me, it just puts them in the worst possible light. And that wasn't actually. I read a really good article about it, and there was an Argentine journalist who was quoted said that this city, this country, was in no way prepared for this game to be played. For a final between these two teams. There was no way it was. There's just too much. There's too much emotion involved,
and I think what really sucks too is the gap that there was, period, between the first leg and the second leg, and I have no clue why they did that. What was it, like a week and a half or something? 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks, and yeah, I'm not sure why that happened either. And I know that they wanted to get it finished before the summit, the G20 summit that's going to be in Buenos Aires this week, which I'm sure will have a completely different level of security.
Yeah,
but it's just the whole thing is it's like if this is how you wanted to showcase what your soccer is about. I mean, if it's just one big huge gamesmanship of just the absolute worst level you could possibly do it. If that's what you want the world to see what your sport is about, then I guess mission accomplished.
But it's just another day though in it's just another day in the world of soccer. Really, this
Yeah.
isn't something new, or isn't something like, shocking. I remember, I think I was telling Joel, Jim Rome, sports pundit guy from like 2001, used to always have a segment on his show about crazy soccer fan, like complaining about some crazy soccer fan does it again, some English hooligan does it again, and like beats up a whole bunch of people, or there's like gang fights all outside of a stadium and stuff like that. Soccer fan does it again, and so it's happened, for a long time, and it'll continue to happen. Similar instances just like this. Just that's why soccer is the number one sport, the most popular sport in the world. So.
Yeah, it's just I would have preferred them to play the game and show off their soccer on the field. But call me a traditionalist, I guess.
Even the elements were against it, John. It rained the first game.
That is true. It was they could have played that too. They just
oh man, I forgot about that. That was man. I don't even care. Whatever.
Yeah,
it did ruin some of the excitement.
So is it for sure going to be played Tuesday, or have they?
They're making an announcement tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So I think they'll we'll see how it.
Luckily that didn't happen that rain didn't happen in Mexico City, or it'd be mud all the way up on that crappy field that's over there.
Right.
Yo, can we talk about that real quick? I just want to know why Cruz Azul is going to play at the Azteca and America's just, like, I don't think that's fair, and I think America should have just stood the ground.
Cruz Azul does draw better at the Azteca than Club America does.
Yeah,
so
I think
that maybe they had like a competition to see who would get a better gate, and Cruz Azul won, even with the Super Clásico. Ouch!
I don't know about that. I saw something that they want to play there
consistently outdrew that
because they have a good home. They play good at home, and so they don't want to leave that.
Yeah, because I thought Cruz Azul was gonna play at a different venue, so I'm surprised to hear that they're sticking to the Azteca.
So is the grass still in just terrible shape, or is it gone a little better?
They're back to They're back to their Cruz Azul Hidalgo days. Nothing new.
Are they gonna go play at the 10 de diciembre?
Yeah.
That would be
taking
fantastic.
it to the 90s, man. When you played at the overgrown grass of Veracruz.
Well, but Cruz Azul's their best years were when they played at the Azteca. So the stadium suits them. It's not like this is the first time they played there. So they, when I was a kid, they played there. I mean, through like the mid 90s or even late 90s, didn't they, Joel? I mean, they didn't go to the Azul until.
Yeah. When the Azul was Azulgrana,
right?
May not. Yeah. So sometime in 2000.
I mean, I remember when I was young, they would play at the Azteca. I remember that was a thing.
Yeah. So the Azteca has. I mean, that's where they've had their. They won other titles there. So I'm sure that's what they're. They're looking at that. They're looking at that as well. Now, little hat trick. One of the things we do on the show when we bring people on is we ask them. We ask them how it came to be that they
that I became an Americanista.
That you became an Americanista. So how did the Sorting Hat pick Club America for you?
So my dad and his family, they're from Morelia, but growing up they would just watch America games because that's who, back then, back in the like late 70s, early 80s, I guess America had a pretty successful run, and so my dad looked up to his brother, which my uncle, and they would just watch America, and so he became an Americanista. And so when they came here, and I was born, I would watch America games, and it's just stuck. I remember seeing like the passion. I mean, you got to think about it. I like in that Sao Caetano like I remember that game. I was so young, but like I remember those incidents, and those incidents is what I think is sort of you don't see that everywhere. You don't see that sort of passion, which violence isn't. You can't really say that violence is passion necessarily, but I think in that circumstance it was very warranted, and they should have not taunted anybody, but things like that. I would just, the way that America just played, and the fans, I remember when they would run up and down the Azteca and stuff, and I haven't seen that in a while, or if it happens it's like 10 guys doing it. It's not the whole area. So I don't know. I just grew up watching America, and that's just what stuck. That's just what I like watching.
So it wasn't any young childhood trauma that you've had to compensate for all these years after to becoming an America fan. So
nah,
it was legitimate. It was organic.
Yeah. Everybody always asks me if
there wasn't a gypsy curse.
No, if I'm being threatened or something, I'm like, no, it's in my blood now.
Yeah, I think the gypsy curse would make you an Atlas fan.
That is true. So that'd be one of those monkey paw curses to become an Atlas fan.
If you're a good
just being in constant agony, just
if you're a good pickpocket, you can be an America fan.
Atlas should change their mascot from the Zorros to Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Donkey. Yeah, from Winnie the Pooh.
Exactly. So you were afflicted young because it was what your parents would. Now how did they come to become America fans? Was it just because that was the only? How did it happen?
They would just like I said. I think it was America was just back then when they were growing up. It was like it was when America was kind of starting to become that team, the team. And so I felt like they just gravitated towards that, towards the greatness, towards, winning. And it just became like a family thing. I mean, my grandpa was from Jalisco. He was a Chivas fan, although he didn't watch much soccer, but everybody just gravitated towards America being in Morelia.
I think 70s did that. I think in the 70s and then going into the 80s, I think that's when it was the America and Cruz Azul show. Those were the best teams. And you got the hype of the World Cup. Mexico had hosted its first ever World Cup. So you have that massive hype and people just beginning to like soccer more, becoming more passionate, because before that it was like lucha libre, where you had, they even made movies like Santos versus the Momias and stuff like that. So you had like wrestling, and you had boxing and baseball in the north, and that's what I think a lot of Mexican fans forget, that like it's still, for us it's still pretty. It's not that old that we've been going at it, getting like into the sport, like going into the sport full throttle.
Yeah. I think it was just the time that they grew up in. They witnessed a lot of America's triumphs, so I think they just gravitated towards that, and now we're here.
So America is in second place. You watched America throughout the season. You analyzed them. You watched and rewatched the games.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you.
5 times. Yes, sir.
I'll be honest with you. I maybe watched 5 games this season.
Oh man!
Because of Univision. Univision just messed everything up because I have Dish.
Host.
So I
thought you were just a Cantinero regular, because like me, I watch like 3 Chivas games.
Sometimes we talk about that we didn't see.
Yeah, we give, and then we're pretty accurate. At the end of the season, we still got it right.
So you watched 5 games, but I'm sure you saw highlights. You
Yeah,
probably
No, I
yeah.
would do my best to watch highlights, and then I would also listen to the what's his name, the Eagle Eye podcast, or I'm totally butchering it right now, but I would listen to Ivan and them, and that's kind of where I would get my information from. But yeah, I would try to watch highlights and
No. When they discuss America, do they throw the big words around like the greatness and
no,
heroic?
they're actually they actually have a lot of hot takes when it comes to like Henry Martin and some players that I don't really like. I'm just like, come on, man, like can't be talking.
They're trashing your boys.
They are, yeah, they do.
Oh
man.
We're
They
pretty
talk about
bullish on
like Henry
Henry right
Martin.
here.
They expect Henry Martin to make a goal in like 10 minutes. I'm just like, bro, like, come on, that's not how it works. Like, how can you expect them to do that?
Wow. So you get your information from their podcast, but you're at a spot where you think that you probably have a pretty good gauge on what's going to happen with America in the.
Oh
in the,
yeah, for sure. I kind of I know how they play. I know.
So is it title or bust, or are you going to have a sad Christmas?
Title or bust. I think they'll make it to the final at least. Right now, it's literally all in the hands of Miguel Herrera. It's just he just has to focus because I think he's just been so worried. You know what needs to happen? The announcement that Tata's going to Mexico. That's what needs to happen for him to be like, okay, I gotta win. Because I feel like he's just been so distracted thinking of how he can finesse his way to the coaching spot, and he overthinks things. I think that's one of the things that he struggled with this season. Is just he just overthinks. He makes late subs. He makes the wrong subs. And so I just think it's been because he wants to, he doesn't want to, he's not thinking about America, he's thinking about Mexico. And so let's say Atlanta get knocked out whenever that is, and then it's announced the day after, then I think Miguel Herrera will be like, okay, like I really have to do this or else I'm out of a job. And nobody else is gonna pay him as much as America is gonna pay him. So
yeah, but I mean,
get it together.
They're not gonna fire him if he. I mean, he's done. He's got the second most points in the league. I mean,
if he doesn't win, I mean, I think it depends on how he wins. For example, if they come out fighting, let's say they make it to the semifinals and they come out fighting, it's a great leg against whoever. Then I think he'll keep his job. I think he'll have one more season.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can't expect to win. You can't expect to win every year, but you can expect to be in a position to win. And if Piojo Herrera consistently delivers that,
I mean he does, but America is not Chivas. You have to remember that America has the standards set, and he's already losing.
But again, I mean, let's not pretend that America has won like 50 championships, dude. They've won 12 or whatever it is.
I mean, they haven't, but the standards still set. I mean, you look at what Matosas when Matosas was at America, he won the Conca Champions, but they still ran him out of the club. But he still won the Conca Champions.
But Piojo won their last title at America. So again, I don't understand. What Club America needs, they need Piojo to stay there for 6-7 years.
I don't think
so that they can win 5 or 6 titles.
Yeah, he could be like La Puente at Necaxa.
Or like Tuca at Tigres. I mean, Tuca's been at Tigres now for what, 8 years, 9 years?
Yeah, and Piojo's definitely capable of doing that.
Tigres is about to play their 5th straight final.
I think he what? Where?
Tigres has been in the Apertura tournament. They have played the final since 2014.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you were saying that they were gonna get to the final this season, and I was gonna be like, I don't think so. But
yeah, if they do, it'll be their 5th straight.
Yeah. It's just, I think as an America fan, we want to win. And so, and I agree. He's a very solid coach. I think he might be the best Mexican coach. In terms of the regular season, he's like another what's the El Turco? He's like another Turco. Like if you get them on your team, you could basically guarantee a Liguilla spot. You can guarantee 30 points. But if he just gets beaten like he did against Santos last season, then what's the point? If he just keeps losing, what's the point?
Yeah, that's always been the thing with Liguilla, where it can seem unfair because one bad game can throw out your whole season.
Yeah,
and that's. I mean, if it was best of 6 like in basketball, you would have the better teams coming out on top.
Well, you got another game to make up for it.
Yeah, but I think that I was looking at the tweet you made about how America did against the top 8, and they did not lose a single game against the top 8.
they didn't lose, but
Yeah,
you
2
know it's
wins. Yeah, but on a home and home. And I was talking about this with John before the game, and it's the only team that has an advantage over you is Cruz Azul, and you're not going to face them unless it's in the final. So you could draw your way to the final.
Yeah, but remember, away goals count. It's not higher seed; it's away goals. It should be higher seed, but it's away goals.
Yeah, but if you're they're closing at home, I still
But if
think.
you're tied in the global, you're tied on away goals, and then you advance by the higher record. So that's the third tiebreaker.
I still think they have that advantage, of being the higher seed. I still think that's a good advantage to have for.
Tigres is going to be on the
Pumas without the Picolines. Yeah.
Oof. So if Tigres, if America makes the final and they don't win, then you think that they should fire Piojo and move on against somebody else?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think he's had enough chances to. I think he's had enough chances to win. I think he should have probably been let go in the summer.
Well, how long has he been there?
I think he's been there.
This is the second go around. He's been there what 2-3 seasons?
A year and a half, I think.
So he's been there 3 seasons, and that's long enough.
That's not.
I think so. I personally think so. But it's not just because he hasn't won. It's the way that America plays. It's his mistakes that he makes. We just hate seeing. For example, we think how is it that Henry he had like 5 goals last season in 4 games or something, and then he just benched him. Like what was that for? Why would you bench him? Why would you tell him even if you score the most goals this season, you're not going to the Mundial? Like why do you do that to Henry? Like you have to motivate these players, and you can't have this player who's on fire, bench him, and then put him in for 5 or 10, 15 minutes, and then get mad when he doesn't score. Like what are you doing? And I think he's playing too much into hierarchies. With Uribe. Uribe is like 37 years old. There's no reason he should be playing right now.
Well, I think that's part of some of that blame to me is with the directiva, who they, I think it was the breakup with Pelaez, and the way the team was working when he was the sporting director, and you did have they brought that French guy that got injured. Did he ever play again?
He's still injured. He won't be playing until but he had an incredible preseason. I'm gonna say that.
Preseason playing against Liga de Ascenso. I mean, but I don't think that was like a Piojo move to bring in a guy like that, And
to bring in who? Like Roger?
That French dude, yeah. I don't think that would have been.
Jeremy.
Yeah. I forgot his name, man. I just saw him. And...
Jeremy Menez. Yeah, Piojo does not bring in exotics.
Yeah, man.
He wants guys that are proven Liga MX players, and
so you don't think he wanted Roger?
No.
Interesting.
No, he has his
Pelaez?
two.
No. Yeah. When Pelaez first came to America and the players that he brought on, how many of those were outside of Liga MX? When he was making those decisions, it was very. If America did bring him, it was like one, maybe two. Not like 5 or 6 like other teams do every year.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants proven that he is in Liga MX. He's like, I want a guy that knows how to play well in Liga MX. I don't want to take a chance on a guy that plays well somewhere else but may not adapt here. I mean, you have to remember Mexico City. That's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
If you're not used to that, so you want someone that's used to that. So yeah, no, I mean, look what Pelaez has done at Cruz Azul. He had his team built way before their preseason even started. So they had the complete team the whole time.
That was very annoying watching what he did over there because, at America he ended up bringing players that just they had nothing to do there. For example, what was that striker that he brought from Ascenso, Churpias? And I like Churpias from what I saw, like the 3 games that I saw him playing. I liked what he was doing, but it's like, why does he go to Cruz Azul and he brings these heavyweights, like Elias, like El Alvarado, like why didn't he stop doing that at America?
Well, I don't think it was his choice. That's why he left.
With money as well. I think America was cutting back on spending, and Cruz Azul opened the coin purse. But they had cut back, and then they brought that one guy Pepe Romano, and that caused even more problems.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that Pelaez was as involved in those personnel decisions at that point in his tenure, which is one of the reasons why I think he ended up leaving.
So you think he's more involved at Cruz Azul now?
Oh, he's 1,000% more involved in Cruz Azul.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I just because remember, you have to remember that after he built those squads at America, he went with Piojo to do the World Cup, and then when he came back, it just seemed like it was a little different. I don't know if there was like a little power loss there or not, but who knows? But regardless, he has been a very good general manager, Cruz Azul, and he has that's going to be a bitter pill for America fans to swallow is to watch Cruz Azul when especially if they beat America at
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. As soon if they get to the final, Cruz Azul will just remember all the times they failed, and they're going to get nervous. And that's
it. See Cruz Azul with Pelaez hoist the trophy.
Nah,
hey, man, that guy's track number is scary, man. Like his first season at the club, they already won the cup, and they finished in first place. And I think they're the only undefeated team at home. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And at America, it was like they were playing the final every year. If it wasn't league, I mean, I think he played 10 liguillas, or of the whole time he was there, they qualified like at a 10 or 11.
I don't think they was he still there when
Only the last one
on the Volpe's last season?
Yeah, but that's when all the problems started.
Yeah. He actually got let go like right before it ended, huh?
He got because he made an announcement that he was leaving at the end of the season, and Yon De Luisa was like, "Well, why wait? Just leave now." And
he
had to quit, and that's where you had like a disconnect, and you had some in-house fighting with. And Pepe Romano was involved because it's like, did Pelaez bring in La Volpe? Was it his call? And with some of the transfers as well, because Pelaez likes to bring the transfers as soon as possible. And then that season, they brought some of them pretty late. So it was some, I don't know what was going on back there.
Yeah, it was hectic. I remember those days.
So if Piojo does end up leaving, then
Mm-hmm.
Who is your dream coach, and then who are they really going to get?
I think Vucetich. I think
that's a good one.
Vucetich is ready to come back to Mexico. I don't know what he's doing, but he's probably enjoying life. But I think that Vucetich would be probably one of the guys that Americanistas would like. Realistically, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who is the Directiva friends with. That's what we have to ask.
Ivan in the chat says Ruben Amaro Romano.
has he punched that card yet?
Wait,
has he punched the America card yet?
Wasn't Romano kidnapped? I still think he's kidnapped.
He's
called
kidnapped
up
when he was
somewhere.
at Cruz Azul, when he was coaching Cruz Azul.
But in my mind, they still have him.
Oh yeah,
they still have him trapped. Yeah.
Really?
We'll probably get like Hugo Sanchez or something. Hugo Sanchez is gonna make a comeback.
Joel, do you think we need to spring him?
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills
you need to
that
call somebody,
I've for a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Is that what you need there, Joel? Someone to spring. That's the guy that we needed to spring for La Chofis, Joel, to get La Chofis back on song. Get him deprogrammed. So Ruben Omar Romano, who has coached at least 15 or 16 different Mexican clubs, so he will get his card punched once again if he goes to Club America. But seriously, who would it be? Who is the realistic shot there for Club America?
I think if Rafa Puente was a year and a half into Querétaro, I think that would be him. I think Piojo might be left alone for another year or so, and then if he doesn't win, then Rafa Puente is gonna come in. That's who I realistically see.
Okay.
Plus he worked with Televisa before.
Yeah, and he was a mastermind behind that Pelais era, and he's doing pretty good, I think. Even if Querétaro wouldn't have made it to the Liguilla, because I mean they could just get blown out, but even besides that, I think he's had a pretty good career. I think coaching wise, of course. I think when he was at Lobos, I think that the things that his players were into kind of stunted him from they kind of stopped him from getting to Liguilla, at least in the first season. Because you have to remember they had that Quiñones kid, and he was like one of the top goal scorers, but then him and his brother or whatever, they started doing some other stuff at like clubs, and they had to like kick him out.
Hey, Joel brings up a good point. If we're gonna move into talking the Liguilla and the game against Toluca, and I know the choke intimidation. I know you talked about the Cruz Azul getting scared against America in the final. Is Piojo gonna get scared against Cristante whenever Cristante gets his choke hands on him?
He's gonna do that Undertaker move, man.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. Honestly, that was just so funny.
It's really unfortunate that Piojo changed his haircut because that really would be the classic Piojo hair would have been the two worst hairstyles of Liga MX coaches with Cristante and Piojo. But Piojo's looks, he's got the very, very serious short haircut right now. So
I think he looks good. He's lost some weight. I think he's focused somewhat. He was focused on that Mexico job. That's what he was doing for.
I think they told him. I agree with what you said about his focus wasn't there. Certainly wasn't there like at the start of the season. But I do think I do think like the higher ups let him know, hey man, and this is something John believes, and I agree with him. And there's like you're not getting the job, but you're the bombero, man. You're first in line if whoever we put, ends up crashing and burning, you're gonna put out the fire. And I think he's cool with that, because usually that's
he can't
those
come
seem,
back. He can't come back under normal circumstances.
yeah,
It has
and
to
those
be an emergency.
and those seems to be the coaches that do better, not the ones that start the proceso, but the ones that finish it. At least with Mexico.
It's true.
Yeah, so I think he might. There might always be that possibility. I think he will always wait to come back, but he needs to stop because he needs to realize where he's at, and he needs to focus. He needs to stop.
Where is he at? Is he at the greatest?
El más grande. Simply put. And I know people are gonna be like, oh, Chivas, and I can count who has the most championships in Copa MX, Liga MX, Conca Champions, most international titles. I mean, if we can go there.
Nobody's arguing with you. We're just asking
for whoever's listening, because I know some of my Twitter followers.
See, you're first. I'll see you're new to the show, so like normally would hear I mean that was pretty good. That was a good Americanismo. We'd throw the chorus from that great song that they had a few years ago underneath it, just to really hit home what you were saying. But it's your New Year's, so I don't know how you'd feel about me, playing those clips under your.
I haven't heard any sort of any pro America anthems in a long time. It's just always the Chivas thing. And then that one clip from like the Russian girl.
Oh,
the Russian. Yeah, John. I've been waiting for that eagle screech.
Oh, the eagle screech. Oh, we do have that.
Drop that
with the drums there, and then you hear the eagle come in. There it is, right there.
There you go. Flying high, man.
There it is. Well, I mean, like I said, we have I went through it a little earlier. We have. I mean, we have the. Oh, I did that. We have the. I mean, we have all this stuff. We just. Our fellow Americanista just hasn't been on the show, and we don't really have a reason to play all this stuff because, frankly, when we don't need to talk about America, where we will gladly accept the challenge.
This is a Chivista podcast. Let's be honest here.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. We trashed. We talked a lot about Chivas, but there's only one Chiva on this podcast, and it sure as hell ain't me.
and I get a lot of hate from my Chilla hermanos.
Yo,
I mean, I remember we talk about Chivas for the hilarity.
I remember that conversation you had with the other Chivista about the goal scoring in Chivas.
Oh yeah, man.
That was so funny. I was laughing because it got so serious.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Situation there hasn't been nice.
But no, that's why I like Jolie, because I feel like he's the most sensible. Like I feel like he doesn't let his love for the club get cloud his vision, cloud his judgment.
Yes, thank you. I try to be impartial. Yeah, and it wasn't easy because the last, and John could attest to it, man. We were just praising America a lot, especially throughout the whole Pelaez run, which I would get into arguments with the fellow podcaster Johnny Rico because he did not like Pelaez, especially when he let go of Turco. But I mean, who wouldn't want to have Pelaez with the numbers he was bringing in, with the consistency? And it's like we really couldn't say anything bad as much as we wanted to on Águilas, because it's like they were disputing a championship every other season and winning, But yeah, that's where we're at right now.
it's yeah, the Chivas talk is a lot of fun. And I'm sure it's very cathartic. It's like every time I tell Joel, it's like he's getting to peel another layer from his onion of his Chivas angst.
Yeah, no,
It's better than
but
listening to the Smiths.
we do try to balance it. It's just that some of our other Aguila, Ron, he's not here as often.
He did join us though last week on our gentleman's agreement podcast that we had.
He did join us briefly.
And he got
And
mad at me because I said that that when Chivas won, was it not their last time, but the one in 2006? I said it was because of the fallopian tubes that were on there in their uniform design. And that's how they performed the best. I don't know why he got mad at me. I thought that was a very valid observation.
Yeah, that's a nice, not so nice shirt. But no, and then we have Dan who hasn't been on, and he talks everything Santos. So for the most part, we do try to like level it out. And then our resident Cruz Azul, he moved to Malaysia. We would bring in for therapy sessions because every Cruz Azulada we will have him on to hold his hand and let him know.
He definitely, I'm sure he had a vent.
No, well, not see. It's kind of a Cruz Azular for him because now that the team is doing so well, he doesn't have access to the games. He's been pretty missing. Right. He's been missing in action, and that's the guy from Mexican Soccer Show, Marquitos. Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Jason, I remember his name, Jason Markovich.
I really enjoy this podcast. I was just joking about it being a Chivas podcast.
It can be.
It's making me reevaluate how much we talk about Chivas on this show.
No, you do. Look. As a listener, because I do listen. I listen to this every week, and I have for since like the beginning of summer.
So you're the one. Well, we thank you. We appreciate it.
And it does seem very heavy on Chivas, but like, it's okay because there's a lot going on with Chivas. So I can't even blame it because there's been so many movements, so much drama, even when Almeida was there. So I can't blame it. But yeah, I really I remember I will listen to it and there be no sort of perspective on America, and I'd just be like, man, like I wish I could be there. And now I'm here. But
well, we certainly appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much. But you're right, though. I'll have to admit, we just America is not. I mean, obviously, it's a team that I don't really have to. Especially with Piojo there, it's a team that to me they're just a solid team, and I mean, for as much as he used to run his mouth in the net, I mean, ever since his little incident, Piojo has been nothing more than just 100% professional.
It's because he's trying to get back,
and there's no question that he's
trying to get the whole thing back.
That was his dream gig. I mean, Piojo was the kind of guy that I thought that had he not done that, I mean, he would have gone to Russia. He'd probably still be the coach. I mean, that's.
I doubt it because honestly, even besides that, Mexico was just playing horribly, and I don't know if it was just a dip in form on the players' part, but I remember watching those games.
The biggest thing in that Gold Cup was the fact that they had all the European guys at least, because the Gold Cup was late. I mean, it didn't start till July, so those guys had been off for 6 weeks, 2 months, and then all of a sudden they have to go back and play. So I thought because in the last Gold Cup, I mean, it started immediately after the season, so they were still kind of, kind of had a rhythm about them. I remember like Chicharito plays the Champions League final, and then next week he's playing El Salvador. It's you'll never guess which one he got the hat trick against. Anyway, yeah. So
we know
it was totally a totally different set of circumstances. So, but I mean, even so, I mean, even as bad as they quote unquote played, they still won the tournament, and then they won the final pretty convincingly. So the funny part to me of that whole tournament was listening to when we especially that game against Panama, where there's like, if you get a call like that, you should just kick the ball to the goalie because it was such a terrible call that there's no way you can accept the penalty. It's like, on what planet would anybody ever do that? They were so upset that that Mexico caught those breaks. It cracked me up.
But I mean, I think we all were kind of upset that they caught those breaks. Because they shouldn't need those breaks, especially against the Panama.
Well, sometimes you do need breaks like that. I mean, believe me, there's no team that wouldn't accept it, and it's if that happens, that happens. I mean, you play the. I mean, I know it's nice to think that you go, especially in CONCACAF, go in and beat everybody 6-0, but it's just not like that anymore.
Yeah,
and so that's just the reality of CONCACAF. I'm not saying that Mexico's gonna, they're still gonna do well, but they're not gonna whip people like they used to. It's just not gonna happen anymore.
But see, Miguel Herrera is just so weird. I just don't get it. I just don't understand him. Just because, I mean, last season they right now I think they're on a non-losing streak. I think they haven't lost in like 9 games or something. But it's
you still want to send them packing
because most of them are ties. He just keeps tying people. Like he tied against Toluca, he tied against Cruz Azul. Who else did he play? Of course he beats Veracruz. So it's like that's exactly what was happening. I remember.
Well, wouldn't you be more worried if he wouldn't have beaten Veracruz?
I mean, yeah, no, of course, but last season everybody was talking about an unbeaten streak as well when they were mostly tying, and then we saw what happened against Santos. Santos just humbled us. Honestly, I remember watching that game or those 2 games, and I was just like, man, okay. And then see, Santos is who I'm really scared of in the Liguilla because they got rid of like 3 key players and they're still good, and that's scary.
Okay, so looking at America's schedule, the last time they lost was August 22nd, so that was 3 months ago.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't think it was that far.
Yeah, they have an 11-game unbeaten streak, and they only lost twice. They lost against Necaxa and León, and that's it. So out of the 17 games, they only lost twice. So explain to me again why you want to get rid of this guy.
We have to see what happens in Liguilla because for all we know, Toluca can just kick us out. Toluca could just surprise everybody. I think to me, Toluca isn't very good this season. And so if they lose against Toluca, or let's say they lose in the semifinals, I think it's all gonna be on how they lose because a lot of fans are already very upset with him, and they have been since at least last season.
But what are they upset about?
They're upset that he's not. Speaking about this, I think it was that Peláez era where America just kept getting to the finals, and they won most of them. And so we kind of became a little
jaded.
Yes, and so I think we still want that. I think that as fans we still think we can do that, and so we still want to be in finals. We still want to win, but with Herrera, it's not happening. I mean, a year ago when they got just completely ran by Tigres. Tigres just smacked them. That was a year ago. Last season, Santos did the same thing to them. So it's like it's the way they're losing. They might be solid the season, like the whole season, but once it really matters, they don't show up.
But those are very good teams. You weren't exactly beaten by a Puebla.
You're talking about losing to the teams that won the title.
Yeah, and with very if you go down the list of the players they have, you lost to some very good teams. arguably better teams.
No, I mean,
even roster wise. So I mean, it's I think I get it. I mean, you want your team to win, but sometimes you have to see who the opponent was.
yeah, and I understand that, but
See, I would be more upset if America, ends up 1 or 2 and ends up getting upset by Chiapas or Atlas or something like that. I mean, to lose in the semifinals against the eventual champions, that to me is not a. I mean, yeah, it's disappointing that they lost, but it's not like. I mean, those are a 50-50 when you're at that level. That's a 50-50 at best that you're going to win that.
But like I said, it's the way that you lose. I mean, I don't off the top of my head, I can't remember what the score was against America, but was it like 4-0 with Tigres? Something like that.
It sounds delicious. I should look that up.
And if you remember, it was I think the first leg was against Cruz Azul, and they just won on home goals, the visiting goal advantage. It was like 1-1.
How terrible!
And then they just got obliterated by Tigres. And then last season, they got through Pumas because Pumas is nothing, it's nobody. so they just ran through Pumas. But then when it came down to it against Santos, it was just they never even showed up, and that's what's worrying, and that's why so many Americanistas aren't even looking forward to the Liguilla. They're just like, man, like once again they're gonna get exposed, and that's what we don't want. We want a manager that knows how to play these games, and even if they don't win, they still at least put up a fight.
Okay, so they're not losing well enough.
I mean, it's so let me get this straight. Okay, who's your favorite team?
Me, I'm a Pumas guy.
Pumas, right?
Yeah.
So when they lost against America last season, what'd you think of that?
I mean, I was upset, but it was like I got over it.
Okay, you were upset, but don't you think it would have been better if Pumas put up a fight and maybe lost by 1 goal, but it was a close series regardless?
Well, I mean, I understand that, but it's it's again to me it's the semifinal, and I mean you're going to capitulate at some point or another, and the other team is just really good. I mean, would you like to see your team lose with a little more dignity? Sure, but I mean, I would much rather Pumas lose to America in the semifinal than the quarterfinal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think Piojo's days are counted. I think if he doesn't win, I see a slim chance that he just stays on.
Oh, I don't. I think that
you think he's there for long haul?
Pointed out that Piojo is he's there to be there close by just in case they need him for the national team. So he's not leaving America at least unless they have a really bad season, like where they don't make the playoffs at all. Then he'll get fired. But if he keeps making Liguillas and semifinals and finals or whatever it is, I mean, they don't have to win the trophies, but if he just keeps them in the conversation, he'll still be there. And then if the national team needs him, then he'll go from one side of the hall to the other.
And maybe I'm just expecting too much from him, just because like I said, I do think he's probably one of the best coaches season wise, but when it matters, he just doesn't show up, and that's very upsetting. So I don't think
but it's only happened twice. I mean you act like this has happened for years.
I mean I don't remember but as a soccer fan, we have very short memories, so I remember his first time there, how he was doing in Liguilla.
Right. It was very, very emotional, very they beat Cruz Azul.
Yeah. And then they lost against Leon because
and then
America saved Mexico's ass.
right. And
Can't
who
hear
was
about
the
that.
and who was the coach that beat Tigres? Was that Piojo or was that Turco? Or was that the other guy?
No, that was Turco.
Turco, okay.
Yeah. You see,
because Piojo was on the national team, right. Okay.
Yeah. And you see, even Turco got kicked out of the team after that, after winning. So I think America as a whole, you know, fans wise, even the directiva, they've set these standards, and you know,
but you do know why they. I don't mean to cut you there, but
yeah.
you do know why they let go of Turco. Like some of the stuff he was doing, like he would leave midweek. You know, he'll go travel to Argentina and claim that he needed to go see something about his daughter's school. And then he left another time after the team had lost. They lost like one of their Clasico games, and he left and he went to Italy. He went to go watch Amigos del Papa football game. So he would do stuff like that, and it pissed off Pelaez. Like, you know, he would show up to the training because he does go to the training camp. You know, he goes to see the players, and Turco wouldn't be there. Where's Turco? He's like in another continent already. You know,
Yeah.
and we see now like why they let him go from Deportivo. I mean, it's not like the team was underperforming. He has that, you know, he's had that. You could say like lack of discipline, which I do feel is what cost him 2 finals in a row with Monterrey. I do think he lost the team, and push came to shove. They ended up losing 2 finales, man. Which was.
I mean, we got to remember, El Conejo Perez. He had the game of his life. That was an incredible performance. I think any other goalie if any other goalie had been in there for Pachuca, I think Monterrey would have won. Because I'm surprised. Did they give him a anti-doping test or something? Because that was incredible.
Piojo?
El Conejo Perez, when they played the final against Monterrey.
His number came up?
No, I'm saying Jolie was saying that Monterrey lost finals because of discipline. But I was just saying that El Conejo Perez, he just came out. He was incredible.
Yeah, he played very well in that. It was good to see him act like the Conejo that we all knew and loved.
Yeah. But I mean, either way, if I look from what I remember that America under Turco was just not playing attractive football. It'd be like they would score and then they would just be so defensive, and it wasn't fun to watch at all. I think once he got to Monterrey, he became way more attractive. He started playing football that was just way better than when he was at America. But I don't know. I think Piojo, I'll give him. After this conversation, I guess maybe we are rushing to want to get him out of here, but I'll give him a year. Regardless of how he performs in Liguilla, I'll give him a year. If he doesn't become champion in a year, then we got to move on.
What if he wins a Copa MX? Is that good enough?
Nope. That's nothing.
What if he wins the Copa de Campeones?
Those are nothing cups. Let's be honest. Those don't mean anything.
Those you don't want any of that. Those are just doorstops.
I mean, if it happens, it happens. You know, if it happens, like great. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
Many a Chivas fan is offended.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do you foretell a Club America championship in this Liguilla, or do you say
I can see happening. I can definitely. I think.
Is it gonna happen? Is it gonna? Is it gonna happen?
I think it will. I'll be honest. I think it will. I think that America's gonna be the champion.
Take their rightful place at the top of Liga MX where they belong.
Yeah, I don't think Cruz Azul is gonna make it to the final. I think they're gonna lose somewhere, either against Querétaro or whoever they play against in the semifinals.
Okay.
And that's my hot take for the night. I don't think they're gonna make it to the finals. They're gonna somewhere. It's just gonna click. That they're just gonna remember where they're playing at. They're just gonna remember all the history, and they're just gonna get scared, and it's gonna be all over.
Now, what history are they gonna remember? Because they have
the history of failing.
The history of failing, because they have a pretty long history of winning a bunch of shit too.
Yeah, but I mean that they do, but I just think that at least for this season, I don't think they're gonna win. I think they can come back and once the players are even more consolidated and they I think it can happen. I think if they're gonna win a championship, it'll be under Pelais. I think that's their best bet. If it doesn't happen under Pelais, then I don't think anything can save them.
But for this next one for Cruz Azul,
I'm afraid I just blew myself.
It's not going to go well.
No.
All right, Joel, we'll move on to you. What's who's out of these 8 teams, Joel? Who do you have winning the Liguilla, Joel? Is Joel still with us, or we lose Joel?
I think he's muted.
¿Qué pasiones?
No, te estaba preguntando a quién le vas a ir en la liguilla, Joel, porque ya sabemos que no tienes a tus
no están
queridos Chivas.
Man, I'm gonna disappoint the little hat trick, but I think I'm going with La Maquinita, man. Who I want to win though, or who I think is gonna win?
Well, who do you think is gonna win?
Oh man, let me look at the table again.
All right, we'll get back to you. Joel.
No, wait, I got it already. So Cruz Azul plays Querétaro. I think they might struggle, but I think they'll win. And then Toluca plays America. I think America's gonna beat the Diablos. Choriceros. The chorizo power is not gonna be enough.
Right.
And then you have Pumas, Tigres. Sorry, John, but I think I think Tigres is gonna take it. And man, Santos Monterrey. That's a bit of a coin toss. So then Cruz Azul would then face. Would it be Tigres?
Yep.
Yeah, I think they could edge them out. So I think that to me is the final adelantada, Jon. The winner of that is, to me, takes it home. But I do think it's America is dark horse. I do think they have it to beat anyone. During the season, they did not lose against this top, and that to me that says a lot. So I think.
Well, they only lost twice the whole season.
No, but against the top 8.
Well, I know they only lost twice against. Against the other 7.
Yeah, the other 7.
Combine them both, they only lost twice.
And we'll chalk that up to Piojo.
And the 2 teams they lost to were Necaxa and León. I mean, you might as well. I mean, that's.
Yeah, that's Piojo thinking about why isn't his name on the 25 most eligible coaches for his 3. He's like, why isn't my picture there? But yeah,
So you say Tigres or Cruz Azul?
Yeah, I think if they face each other, to me that's the so-called final adelantada.
Chiquis, what you got?
I got Cruz Azul beating Querétaro, Santos beating Monterrey, Cruz Azul beating Santos, and then on the other side I got America beating Toluca, Pumas beating Tigres, America beating Pumas, and America beating Cruz Azul in the final.
Let's go. Exactly.
They need to get this. They need to get this win. I think it's a must win because especially since Chivas was on the big high with the Conca champions, with the putting it in America's face of losing to Toronto and Tigres losing to Toronto as well, and then so this is a must for.
So America lost badly to Toronto. I remember that. That was ugly.
Oh, America lost to Juarez also in Copa MX. So that's two tournaments that they fell out of, and so this is a must. This is a must they need.
I agree, and also I've seen a lot of rumors about some of the big players in America possibly leaving or being sold. So I think right now they have to.
So that it's now or never. This is it.
Yes, because I've seen that Ibargüen might end up leaving. Ibarra might end up going to Tijuana. They're trying to, I think they might have their days numbered in America. So I think they just have to go all out and they have to win. Otherwise, they're out. And of course, these are just rumors, but I mean, America doesn't surprise me if they were to just sell Peralta or something. It just they can be so unpredictable sometimes.
Well, the player that should sell is if they're going to sell anybody, you probably can make a pretty decent amount of money for it. Is Lainez.
Nah, yeah. The money got to be right though.
I mean, if they're not going to use them, then sell them for 20-25 million bucks and let somebody else.
See, and that's another reason why Americanistas have been upset with Miguel Herrera because Lainez plays a lot, but I don't think he plays as much as we would like him to. And we've seen some of the comments that Miguel Herrera has made. That's just like he just throws. Well, he threw. For example, he threw Vargas under the bus when he missed the penalty against Juarez. He said maybe a youngster shouldn't have been playing or shouldn't have been put up there to shoot the ball. And he also threw Uribe under the bus, and he said he didn't know why he shot a penalty when they have a penalty taker. And it's just these little comments, what he said about Henry, what he said about Lainez in terms of development wise, like he might have just been a little. I think that he's not very modern in that sense. He's still stuck in some past times, and he has to catch up.
Perhaps that's a very interesting way of looking at it. As far as the Liguilla, for me, I do think that America and Cruz Azul are going to make the final both, and it'll be. I know that they had the Norteño final a few, I guess last year and then the year before with Tigres America, but I think the outside of a Chivas America final, I think that Univision is probably going to get the best ratings they'll have ever gotten for a final, especially right around Christmas time. If it's Cruz Azul America, I think.
Yeah,
Cruz Azul is an incredibly popular team. I know that lately, last 4 or 5 years or so, people have enjoyed making fun of Cruz Azul with the Cruz Azuleadas and all that, but they have a very good tradition, and it would not shock me at all if they went through with it. And the only reason I say that is because Joel and I did pick Cruz Azul at the very beginning of the season to win it all. So they're making us look good, Joel.
I mean they've been playing really well. And they are grande, but it's gonna be tough. I mean, I don't know.
Well, playing at the Azteca, I know that it has helped them because they have really good attendance there, and I mean, they just that's where their glory years happen. I just think that it's a good fit for them. It's a good match for them, and they. I mean, like, as you pointed out, I mean they've played well. They've the goals that weren't going in over the past few years started going in, and the crazy stuff that would happen to them started happening to the other teams. They just they're a solid team, and they've played well, and they've gotten good results both home and away. I mean, there's a reason why they have 36 points. I mean, they're a very good team, and I do think that it'll come down to them in America. But I just think in this case is just a little better, and they'll end up winning. But I think it's going to be a great final.
Yeah, I agree.
They're always great finals when they play each other, so it should be good. And I do think that Tigres' run will end, and I would like to see it happen at the hands of Pumas, but. If it doesn't, I don't think they make the final this time around. But
I think that once Tuca leaves, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I think that Tuca has held them back a little bit, just because I think if they had any other coach, any other competent coach would have won way more than they did. But yet again, that's also a weird team because they kind of start off slow and then they just turn it up at the end and then they just win, or at least they get to the final. And I just don't understand what happens. It's like the first half of the season just doesn't matter to them. It's like they're just always in preseason, and then all of a sudden they just come out.
Tuca knows how to coach tournaments. I mean, especially these short ones. That's what he's always done. I mean, Tigres, yeah, they haven't won that much, but they've played since 2011. Just how many? I mean, they've played so many finals.
Yeah,
and again, you're not going to win every final. I mean, that's. But I mean, the reason Tuca's still there is because he still gets his teams to finals. And it's one thing to have all these high money, glamour guys that they have, but how many times have you seen those guys come into Liga MX and they don't pan out at all, and they're just these huge anchors on these teams, and they're just, and that really just hasn't happened at Tigres. And they got a guy that they paid a lot of money for, and he's like Cardoso. I mean, he delivers during the Liguilla. We used to. A couple of years ago, we talked about, let's see how he does in the Liguilla. Well, he's done really well in the Liguilla.
Very well.
And he continues to do well. And he's, again, getting hot at the right time. And frankly, there isn't another striker in Liga MX that can carry the team the way that Gignac can. And if he gets hot, then I think it's all over for everybody.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier because I remembered that he scored 14 goals. And so I counted out Tigres, but then I was like, Gignac is on fire right now, so anything goes.
He was on fire last year. I mean, they did the same thing. They'd start off real slow. He catches fire, and they just destroy. I mean, as you pointed out, they beat America 4-0 in the semifinal.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that is if somebody can whoever slows him down, I think we'll end up winning the final.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough not having a player like that in America.
They've been trying.
Yeah, it's tough having, like, this season, especially the goals are coming from everywhere. And although you might think, oh, that's a good idea, but now I think Miguel Herrera has a predicament on his hands. So, Edson has been more solid as a center back than probably Aguilera and Bruno, but Bruno and Aguilera are scoring. So it's like, what's he gonna do? Who's he gonna play?
Right. Well, gentlemen, it's getting late for me. I got to get up early tomorrow, but this has been another excellent show, and we do appreciate you coming on, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Anytime that you need somebody to sub in, let me know.
Is Ronnie on there?
I'll always be happy to come on. I came on a little late because I was taking a nap, so
it must be nice. It must be nice.
It was incredible. So good.
We do appreciate you coming on, and good luck to you and to your Águilas in the upcoming Liguilla, and we'll definitely have you on to see how things turned out for them and how things turned out for you.
Yeah, and the good thing is that I can watch the game, so I'll be I'll be ready.
I wanted to ask you about that with the whole Dish Network and Univision, because so they don't have the contract anymore, or did they work it out?
So at the beginning of the season, they were only showing certain games. Like there's a few channels that have to do with soccer, and they were show certain games, but America games they stopped showing. Period. And so like I caught a few of the Cruz Azul games because they would show Cruz Azul, they would show Chivas, but America they only showed them when they were like visitors at like a smaller teams. But then
playing hardball.
But then about 2 weeks, about 2 weeks ago, they stopped. Period. They don't have any channels. They're not passing nothing.
Yeah, it's because their carriage contract is up. So, but both parties will say, well, they're asking for way too much, and then they'll figure it out, and of course, the ones that suffer are their viewers.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna figure it out at this point.
Oh, they'll figure it out. Trust me, because they want the eyeballs, but they just have to come up with Univision probably thinks that they're worth more than they are, and the other ones don't think that they're worth as much as.
Didn't they just pick up the Champions League too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I hope they figure it out, but I think my dad's gonna cancel everything here, so I'm just gonna stick to like Football TV and some other streaming apps.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to watch.
Yeah.
So, well, listen. Thanks for coming on the show, Joel. Thank you as always for hopping on.
Always a pleasure, Yon.
And I would say good luck to your Chivas in the upcoming Liguilla, but they're not playing the Liguilla, but they are, however, playing the Club
World Cup, man.
World Cup. They
might knock out
wearing their pajama tops.
The Asian champions, and then and then they'll probably play against Boca or River or one.
No, they get Real Madrid if they get past the Kashima Antlers, they'll get
put them out of their misery too.
That's
man.
right.
We got the Pumas guy Van Ranking.
You know what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. They're going to beat Kashima Antlers, and they're going to be beating Real Madrid 1-0 going into like the 85th minute, and Sergio Ramos is going to score some ridiculous goal on a set piece, and then like Gareth Bale or Benzema or whoever is going to get one in the 90-something minute, and that'll be that. That's what's going to happen to Chivas.
Ouch. But the Real seems to be going down the drain pretty fast.
Yep. But not fast enough. Not fast enough to lose Chivas.
Really quick before I go, it's just funny how lucky Chivas keeps getting. I mean, with Almeida, they had so much luck on most of the things that they won, and now that they have a chance to play Real Madrid,
they got to get by the Japanese team first. Let's.
Well, they do. But
is Bernie saying Santander is gonna ref the Real Madrid game?
if they get past them, this might be Real Madrid's worst season in God knows how long.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, it's up to whoever at this point if they can get past them.
Mark Geiger, who was the guy from the Gold Cup?
Oh yeah, Mark Geiger and
yeah, have him coach the Chivas Real game.
That was my favorite part about that whole Gold Cup thing. Was watching the American fans complain about the refereeing, and then realize who the referee was. It just cracked me up. Anyway, Chiquis, thanks very much for joining us. Did we lose Chiquis?
He left a little bit ago.
No. Oh, it's because I had my screen off because my battery was about to die, so I had to bring the screen down. Well, anyway, we appreciate you guys hopping on here in the CantinaMX podcast. My name is John Jagu, and we will talk to you guys probably over the next few days with the Liguilla and everything else, and Christmas, and some schedule, and we might be able to get a couple more shows on. So we do appreciate y'all coming on, and we will talk to you guys later on. Thank you very much.